really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker, what you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let me tell you this. I have been looking forward to this day for a long time, and not Valentine's Day. I mean, this thing comes around hey, Valentine's Day, great. Here's your hearts and your candy and all that crap. This is our Bourbon Bonanza is what we're doing today. We're at Big Red Liquors, cast strength location. We are in Greenwood, US 31 and Fry Road. This is so easy to get to right here. There is so much to do. Here's what I would recommend. I know a lot of you dudes out there are going, well, wait a minute. You know, I've kind of got this plans with her. And work this into your plans with her. It is that easy. Slide by here. Make sure you get yourself in the raffle like my good friend Bob Crane did over there, formerly of Lawrence County in Bedford, North Lawrence. And now, much like me, he has migrated north over to Morgan County. He is here. He's in the raffle. You need to be in the raffle as well. You also have to be here once you get in the raffle at 5 o'clock. We'll go over all these rules, but we have 50 rare bourbons that we are going to raffle to give you the opportunity to buy coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. I'm telling you, this is a day among days right here, and you have to be a part of it. Don't miss it. And even if you have these plans, just say, hey, you know, I got to drive down south, and then you'll go wherever else you're going to go, downtown, north side, you know, whether you're going to Fountain Square or you're going to Mass Ave or you're a West Sider. This is so easy, so convenient to get to. And let me tell you, on a day of sports to where obviously in the crosshairs we're talking UCLA and IU coming up later on tonight, and we got a lot of basketball to go over. But because the Pacers are now on the All-Star break and they have one guy that's going to San Francisco this weekend and Pascal Siakam, we can take a bit of a breather, much like they're going to, and hopefully a big-time nap, and we can talk about what you like right there next to music and sports, and that is bourbon. And we have two of the most incredible and the most knowledgeable people regarding bourbon and really spirits of any kind. You know, Brett Halverson, our betting analyst from Heaven Hill Distillery, is here. You know him very well throughout the football season. Good to see you, my brother.
Happy Valentine's Day, my friend.
Yes, I know. Look, you got red on.
Yeah, I felt it a special occasion. You and I together again on a beautiful holiday here.
Have you noticed I'm rocking this jacket where my ass was way too fat to wear? It used to be, and now it fits awesome.
It looks a little big now. We have to go down a size.
I know, and now I'm going to have to get a medium on that bad boy right there. But yeah, Larceny Bourbon. I got the jacket. Further explain maybe some components I missed to this day.
Well, I mean, it's pretty special. We're sitting here at the largest retail in Indiana with our great friend Matt Colglazer, and it's a pleasure to be here, Matt. I mean, what you guys have out here in these stores it's
Matty
amazing.
is in the house right here.
This cast drink store in Greenwood is absolutely beautiful. I mean, you walk in it, and it's just again the amazement how big it is and clean it is and neat it is, and the specials that you guys have today. And I'll let you talk about that because this is a special day. Not only do you have some great deals on a lot of great brands, but there's 50 rare bourbons out there that's going to have a chance to win a raffle today. Is that right?
90.
90? Oh, my Lord.
Wait
John,
a minute.
John.
We upped the ante.
Seriously, if you're going out for Valentine's Day, slide by here. Just make sure you get in the raffle and make sure you're here at 5 so you can be a part of it. Go ahead, Matt. 90, not 50, but 90.
Yep, we upped it a little bit, and we hope everybody comes out. We've got, I mean, this is literally the best pricing on some of these items that we've ever done. Well, Knob Creek, which you don't care about, but $19.99.
Great juice.
Never seen that before. $21.99 on Elijah Craig.
That's hot right there.
Never seen that before.
I love the Elijah Craig.
I mean, that really is like maybe one of the best.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Everyday sipping
hands
bourbons
down
out there.
And for that price point,
94 proof. a little extra, a little bit above 90.
Is that what I'm drinking right here in front of you guys?
That was
I'm
the first
starting early.
one you
What
did.
is it?
Got a
Is
little
it
Elijah Craig small batch.
304. I thought now is the time.
Yeah.
304. It's time. It's
time to go.
It's officially past the clock there. You just go right after it too, huh? Just get it. All right.
We don't sniff or take it lightly. I'm from Southern Indiana, man. We go slamming here. That's what's happening.
I love it.
But yeah, Maker's Mark for $16.99.
It's ridiculous. Wow.
That's not a half bottle. That's a whole bottle.
That's a fifth too. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
crazy,
unreal.
crazy. And then Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. I know you. That again, it's talking about Elijah Craig, but this one when it came out a few years ago, one it was crazy allocated. You couldn't get it, and what I like about it is a lot of innovation that comes out now. They finish it in another barrel. They do some other stuff to it. They kind of church it up a little bit. This is just a core, delicious Bottled and Bond whiskey. And obviously, Heaven Hill's been doing Bottled and Bond whiskeys. I know we talk about it in every meeting. But this one it kind of hits all the right notes.
It really does.
A little sweet, a little spicy. 100 proof is almost perfect. As I get older, I'm kind of drinking less and less proof. So, the 90s, the 94s, the 100s, those are perfect for me. Sometimes barrel proof, but I need an ice cube these days. So.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you, my friend.
But, yeah.
And the display is awesome, too. It looks so good just seeing it out live right there. And,
it does.
And just to mention, before you go on with you got amazing stuff happening, there's also sampling tables over there, so you can try some of the said Heaven Hill 7-year-old Bottle and Bond, the Elijah Craig small batch. I think there's a couple other tables over there as well.
Yeah, and we're doing 25% off 6 bottles of wine, mix and match. So this is like, if you're going to stop in, whether you need something for Valentine's Day, a little bit last minute, but that's okay.
There's no damn doubt you need something for Valentine's Day. Let me just tell you.
This is a great time.
Yeah.
This is a great night to stop in. It's not snowing. It's not sleeting.
It's sunny outside.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
It's a perfect day at Big Red.
Hey, there's something else I noticed, too, and hopefully she's not listening, but she's on her way to Kansas City. Lisa and Sierra going to a little volleyball tournament. So you had Lindemann's 750s Framboise over there for like $9.99, which is pretty crazy.
Framboise.
Framboise. It's Lisa's favorite thing.
I'm damn sure I called it Framboise. I said I was going to leave it up to you guys to handle the pronunciation. I would just drink it. So yeah.
There's a new there's this new brand called Carbless, which is kind of like competing against High Noon now that we've got here. It just launched in Indiana, so we've got a tasting table for that. So, get ready for summer. Get your RTDs. Get your seltzers here.
There it is.
It's outstanding.
Right there.
And then it's 90 bottles. 90 mystery bottles. I tried to find out what they were. They got it good, I'll tell you that.
So the way we do it is everybody puts their name in the hat, and we hold up a bottle. We do it randomly, and that name goes with that bottle. So it's not like you get to pick. We found over the years that, when people come up and they get to pick, boy, they take their time, and it slows everybody down. So it's a true raffle. Like, we'll hold up an E.H. Taylor single barrel, and if your name gets drawn, that's your bottle. If you don't want to buy it, that's your choice. I'll probably buy it. But,
right.
But that's how we're doing it tonight. So
that's cool.
That'll actually start right at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So you guys will be rocking and rolling over here. We'll be rocking the raffle over there.
Must be present to win,
Must be present to win.
And
there's really no reason not to be present because these are the silliest deals on bourbon.
They really are.
That I've ever seen.
I've not seen any lower than that, too. Plus, I wanted to do this a little bit later on. I think this is a special day, and because we know that people that love sports love music, and people that love sports and music also, love bourbon like this. I want, Matt, we used to do this with you all the time. I want to take some calls and have people ask you questions because I've got the foremost authority sitting next to me. When they call me, I go, yeah, they just sit in front of me, and I drink it. And you guys can, get a little bit deeper on some of the stuff that I'll miss.
Yeah, sure.
So
Absolutely.
if you guys are cool with that, I would like to set that up a little bit later on.
And better yet, if you were listening and had those questions, come join us live. We'd love to talk to you live.
There's no question.
And have a chance to win some great raffle prizes of some great bourbons.
We can do the live mic thing right here, too,
Absolutely.
so you can walk up and ask everybody questions. All right, one more time. Come be a part of the raffle, as you know, and then at 5 o'clock, you guys are going to draw it. Everybody has to be here, right, Matt?
Yep, everybody's got to be here. It'll be a crowded house. That'll be fun.
And I cannot wait.
That'll be fun.
This is going to be awesome. Anything you would like to add before we get into it here?
There's even more. It's a gift that keeps on giving, John. So we've got, of course, the table over there. You can spin to win some prizes, some great ESPN The Fan merch. some great Elijah Craig shirts, hats, all kinds of good stuff. And Mike and Nicole over on that sampling table, I know are going to be generous, letting you give a little.
I love it. That's a gulp. That's a gulp and not a sip right there, too. I went down to the Hyper today and played a little noon ball and came back up here. I am good. I'm raring to go right now.
Morning, noon, and night.
I am raring to go now. I love it. When you drop a little Hyper activity in like this, man, it makes the weekend get started on the right note. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. This is so different, and I thought Matt alluded to it as well. You just don't see prices like this right now, and it would, I think, beg you to maybe try something that you wouldn't normally try, but because the prices are so incredible, today would be the day to do that.
It really would. It's almost like it's throwback pricing of 25 years ago. You know,
it's cheaper than eggs.
It really is cheaper than eggs. That is correct.
Yeah,
and it lasts longer than eggs too. So
yeah, no doubt about that.
Spoil.
All right, Matt. So once again, US 31 and Fry Road's our location in Greenwood.
You got it.
All right. Matt, come back over a little bit later on. We'll do it again. That's Matt Colglazier right there. Thank you, Matt. That is Brent Halverson of Heaven Hill Distillery. Any thoughts? It's kind of a weird weekend. You've got IU UCLA later on tonight. Boilermakers Wisconsin coming up on Saturday. But football is over. Basketball is now on an all-star break, so I think this is an incredibly convenient time to be doing something like this as well.
It absolutely is, and again, kicking off a great weekend for some. It's a 3-day weekend, right? We got President's Day right around the corner.
For me, it is. I'm
My
off on
birthday's
Monday.
Sunday. You got to celebrate that.
Yes.
You know? I mean, so yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. And hey, about them Hoosiers. Watch out, I like them as the underdog tonight, +2 against UCLA.
This is one of those situations for IU tonight to where we talk about the net and these analytics that end up getting you mentioned once again as far as a contender for being in the NCAA tournament. This is one of those games that really you have to get. I mean, you come off that Michigan State win back on Tuesday night on the road in East Lansing. I think you elevated yourself in the net to 54 right now. This is one of those games at home that you have to get that, can build, I think, your quad 1 or quad 2. In this case, I think this is a quad 1 win at home coming up later on tonight. But this is how, and believe me, IU fans, take it this way. For those of you out there, which I think it's most of you, if not all of you, you wanted to see a coaching change. There's going to be a coaching change. But now you don't have to root for them to lose and get their ass whipped because you want Mike Woodson gone. Now you can settle back and let a group of talented dudes, which they are, but they just play lousy most of the time together, a group of talented dudes do something, maybe get this team to the tournament. So you're really, in terms of sports, you're going to have your cake and be able to eat it too. So you're going to get a new coach, but you also will be able to live in the moment of, hey, look, this team is playing better without worrying about change of hearts and, keeping this regime on hand. So really, for the fans right now, especially the fans that wanted to change, this is rather convenient. We'll see if this team takes advantage of it starting tonight against UCLA.
It really is, and it's kind of like the Jekyll and Hyde Hoosiers this year. You don't know who you're going to get at any point in time, right? Like, they go in and they win in Ohio State, they beat Michigan State. It's just up and down, and then they get blown out by 25. It's been an interesting season. So, but again, everything you just mentioned, yes, it's the Hoosiers. Let's go after it. And I think we should talk a little bit later on about who we think that next guy to take the helm is, too.
Yeah, about that. We have odds. Have you looked up odds? Are there Vegas odds on who's going to be the next?
I have not seen any up there yet. I know there's a lot of good conversation on some big names out there, and Rick Pitino being one of them.
I think somebody, and this is Lindsay Monroe that pointed this out to me a little bit earlier. She said somebody on Peegs that goes by Laney's dad is suggesting they know who it is, and then I think everybody's guessing it's me. But I'm not the guy on Peegs that says he's Laney's dad. I wouldn't do that to Laney because Laney already doesn't want anybody to know that I'm her dad, and she sure as hell wouldn't want that in that particular fashion right there. So Laney's dad on Peegs would not be me, Brent Halverson. All right, what else is going on? Obviously, Super Bowl last week, so the season is over. That didn't go the way that we thought.
It really didn't, and it was just an explosive start by those Eagles. And, I actually did pretty well, some good props, luckily. And, I did have kind of went a little bit on the both side action of that with taking the Eagles teased up to 8.5 and over 42, I believe. And that came in. Kansas City's second half money line came in, which was good. So all in all, it was good. Just an ugly kind of a game, just the whole thing about it, right? Just didn't have the sexiness that maybe the Bills would have brought in there. And having the Bills and Commanders, and maybe we'll get Mike Pearsall up here to talk about those his Washington Commanders with an outstanding season. But it was just a really interesting day. Like I say, it's sad. We got 7 months and like 2 weeks before the next Larceny
time right
shot
there,
show,
buddy.
my friend. That is a long time.
But I know you guys are figuring out some stuff, and we got to get to what is it, Terrapin down in Brown County?
Terrapin Station Retreat.
Terrapin Station Retreat has to have a live show.
Wouldn't that be great?
At some point.
You mentioned that the other day.
Actually, listener Greg, friend of the show, Greg, you know him very well, over there at Mount Vernon, had mentioned maybe before an IU football game to do some kind of weekend gathering starting on a Friday.
That doesn't sound too bad.
So, who knows?
Plus, you tied in with our good friend Christian Webb over at Brown County Music Center with a hot show. They got a killer lineup.
It is a killer lineup.
We got some options there, man. I like where your head's at.
And shout out to Christian Webb. I'm actually going down there next Friday to see headliner Howard Jones and ABC, along with Richard Blade. A little throwback to the 80s right there in New Wave.
Nice.
That is next Friday at the Brown County Music Center. And if you've never seen the Brown County Music Center, then you got to check it out because it is an awesome venue. It sounds great. And as you mentioned, they have a hell of a schedule.
Hell of a schedule. And again, it is absolutely pristine inside. I mean, it is. It's beautiful. The sound's amazing. Seats 2,000 people, and the furthest seat away, I think, is 106 feet or something like that.
They have like lounge chairs, easy chairs.
They're unreal.
Where you just sit back. We took Kravitz, Hagen went and took Kravitz. This is back, I think, a fall ago or something, to see Psychedelic Furs and Squeeze. And Kravitz was just a little bit out of it at the time. And Kravitz, I think, kind of passed out in that chair right there and went to sleep whenever Psychedelic Furs. It wasn't because Psychedelic Furs, they weren't fun. It was just, I think, it was just combined with his state and the comfort level that he was feeling at that moment.
Sounds like he had a good little nap.
He was having a good little nap.
Woke up in very pleasant surroundings, right?
Something else I want you to look at, too, speaking of little nap. And I said yesterday, I'm hoping that the Pacers, all but Pascal Siakam, get more than a little nap over this All-Star break. We know going in, 4 seed right now, we know in the Eastern Conference is tough. We know that their schedule will loosen up, but this team hasn't played very well recently. I want you to look up some numbers about what the expectation is for the Pacers as our betting analysts moving forward in the regular season and the Eastern Conference and the expectations we have for them.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, right? I mean, because, again, the Pacers, they started kind of down and come up a little bit, and it's just, again, kind of got that teeter-totter thing going on. But we'll take a peek at some stuff, maybe talk some numbers here in the next segment on what they're looking like, what their options and chances are moving forward past the All-Star break, which is this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mentioned this too, IU and UCLA later on tonight. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, joins us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. That tip time's at 8 o'clock. That is a Fox game tonight. 7P, your coverage begins with Don and Eric and John Herrick over on 93 WIBC. Wisconsin and Purdue tomorrow afternoon at 1. We talked to Rob Blackman, the voice of the Boilermakers, yesterday. Meantime, tomorrow for Butler, Thad Matta's crew at home against Georgetown. That is coming up tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. So those are the things we'll be focused in on. Yeah, I don't know how much anybody, obviously Pascal Siakam, it's cool that he's going to the All-Star game. I don't know how many people are going to be focused in on that. It is more about getting to the other side of the All-Star weekend in terms of the Pacers. But again, please, on this Valentine's Day, there is no greater way to celebrate, no greater way to say, I love you, than bringing your significant other to Big Red Liquors, the Cast Strength location, US 31 and Fry Road in Greenwood, and be a part of not 50, but a bourbon rare bottle 90 bottle collection to raffle off. Not 50, but 90 bottles to raffle off. You got to be here to win in the 5 o'clock hour, but you got to slide by here and make sure you're a part of it over the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this right now. Knowing Matt Colglazer and the great folks here at Big Red, there are going to be some special bottles in there. And, John, I tell you, there's going to be some happy people that come in here, get their name drawn, pull that bag, see what they got behind there. And like Matt said, if you don't want it, I'm sure one of us would be happy to take it from you. So.
Now, these are all, they're secret right now? Is that what it is?
So, yes, we don't know what they are. I tried to get a little peek underneath the sheets, and I was told no. It's
really?
It's an actual surprise.
See, I thought you might have some authority with that, but you didn't even
got
know
nothing, man. I got nothing.
Right.
I just know if he's telling me that means there's some good stuff there. And go back to the bourbon event they do every year at the fairgrounds, which is amazing. Thousands and thousands of people there. And that raffle and what that generates for not only the excitement, right, but the rare juice, if you will, that is available that they're going to give it away today. All you have to do is get a ticket, be here at 5 o'clock, and be part of that. 90 lucky winners. And then, again, we've got some great swag, some shirts, some hats, some ESPN, the fan gear to go along with that, too. And samplage, John. There's some samples live.
There are samples, as I mentioned, too. This is a great description of the samples right here. And I know a lot of people sniff and then kind of, I gulp.
You gulp
I just
right
can't help
after.
myself. Well, I just gulp right there.
That was Heaven Hill's 7-year-old bottle and bond. That's 100 proof.
That is good right there. That grabs you by the boo-boo.
That will give you a little bit of hop in the step, my friend.
I like it. So, yeah, there's no greater way to spread the love on this Valentine's Day 2025 than joining us at Big Red Liquors and being a part of what is a bourbon extravaganza. Rare bottles, not 50, as Matt Koglazier alluded to, but 90. We're going to be here until probably after 6 tonight, I would imagine, right, with the last word. But it is a bourbon bash here in Greenwood. US 31, Fry Road, cast strength location of Big Red Liquors. You got anything else you want to hit before we hit a break here? We got a lot to talk about today, but anything else you want to add? And as I mentioned, those of you that always have questions about bourbons, rare or otherwise, I've got the foremost authority here in Brent and in Matt to answer any of your questions either live or via 239-1070.
Absolutely. Let us know the questions you have, and we will get you some answers, and we'd love to see you in person. And I think it's such a benefit for you to come out here today. Again, not only can you get some pricing on some of the items that he named, again, John, outstanding ones I can tell you right off the bat. Elijah Craig at $21.99. That is absolutely insane. And Heaven Hill 7-year-old at $32.99, I believe it is just an amazing, amazing price point. So come in and get those, plus all the deals they have, plus the raffles, plus the knowledge, plus the great fine folks here at Big Red, John. Come join us, get a sample, let's talk.
And then you may have to take me home coming up at about 6:15 too. So realize that. I love the fact that you and Kelly Hyatt match right
Well,
here.
we did. It was we planned it. It was
coordinated effect here we got.
We're your Valentine's dates, right? So we want to look good for you, huh?
Let's take a break. We'll come back. Bob Lovell's got a weekend of college and high school athletics too. The girls have their regional semifinals and finals going on. The boys have the drawing. The sectional parent is coming up this weekend. We'll do that. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio. We've got not just one Mike Wells reentry slow jam, but being that it's Valentine's Day, I'm assuming back at the studio, James has cobbled together one incredible slow jam reentry playlist for all of us to enjoy throughout the course of the afternoon. We're ready. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, live from Bloomington. You got UCLA and IU coming up tonight at tip times at 8 o'clock. 93 WIBC with your coverage begins at 7. US 31, Fry Road, cask strength location, a Big Red Liquors. It is our Valentine's Day bourbon bash. Not 50, but 90 rare bottles we're going to raffle off. Remember, you got to be here to win that opportunity. Coming up at 5 o'clock today. Cannot wait to see you. Sampling going on everywhere and a lot more. Brent Halverson, JMV, Matt Koglazier, Dev's the on-site engineer, James back in the studio, Kevin and Chris in effect here as well in the promotions department. We have a ton to give away on this Valentine's Day. We'll take a break and come back. Bob Lovell's going to join us on the other side. The stream, the app, I'm saying hello to you, and you see this bottle of larceny right here inside the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live. Thank you all for joining us. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, this sounds like a perfect Marvin Gaye classic right here. I think I know what he means by "Let's get it on." I don't think he's talking about socks.
No, he's talking about getting your...
He's talking about some heeing and sheeing on a Valentine's Day with a Heaven Hill.
There you go.
Yes.
With a Heaven Hill 7-year-old bottle of bond or a little Elijah Craig, John. That and some chocolate-covered strawberries. I tell you what, bourbon and chocolate is the way to go, my friend. So remember that. You want to surprise somebody.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. There is so much Heaven Hill out there right now. You know, I talked about sports arousals. This may be a bourbon one today.
It's a bourbon arousal. Look at that.
It may be
special
a
day
bourbon
for
arousal.
you.
You're right to buy your raffles coming up in the 5 o'clock hour today. And this is a very special Valentine's Day. US 31 and Fry Road. Some of these people like rounding the corner and look at us and go, oh, what the hell is this? Now, come on over. I want you guys to ask Brent questions. Like, I know Bob Crane's sitting over there going, all right, so what should I ask Brent or what should I ask Cole Glazier right here that I don't already know? But, yeah, if you have questions, slide on over. We've got the live mic for you here. If you want to call at 239-1070, that is quite all right as well. Rex Hampton just sent this to me, and I loved it. I mentioned this earlier. I think it was Lindsay Monroe said, hey, somebody is posting as Laney's dad on Pigs, suggesting you know who's going to be the next IU coach. That is not me, as I think some of the Peaksters have referenced. I promise it is not me. Rex says, JMV is posting under his burner on Pigs. Yeah, that is not me. I promise you, that's a different Laney's dad. This Laney's dad would embarrass Laney if he put Laney's dad even in a burner account right there, too. US 31, Fry Road, Big Red Liquors, Cast Strength. Get here, be a part of the raffle. You have to be present to win, and then that gives you the opportunity to buy in the 5 o'clock hour. Brent Halverson rejoins. Everything good on your end right here?
Couldn't be any better, John. Not a better way to celebrate.
I saw you on the phone over there in the chair.
Yeah, little Command Central stuff. You know, we got Sierra's on the route to Kansas City, Missouri for a big volleyball tournament.
Has she been up to see the Indy Ignite yet?
She has. They were there for opening night games.
I was there before it started, but that's an excellent thing. Their All-Star match is coming up tomorrow, by the way.
That's tomorrow.
Yes.
Wow.
Shout out to Kathy, who's putting that bad boy together. I think Jalen Rose is going to be an MC for that up there as well, but that's coming up tomorrow, the All-Star match at the Fishers Event Center.
That's awesome. I'm actually going to be taking my youngest Sage to her volleyball tournament, and then as soon as that's done, I'm heading to the airport, flying to Kansas City to meet up with Sarah and Lee. So.
I'm going to sit on my ass and then go do the JMV takeover.
Well, look at that.
And then
you got to rest up for that, though, right? That's like a big. You got to build up for that.
Yes, I do. I do have to build up for it because I mean it takes a lot. Like when people say, "Hey, are you on the ones and the twos?" I'm on more than the ones and the twos. I'm on the ones, the twos, and the threes right here because we're working with 3 different catalogs all at once on the JMV Takeover. Again, it is unlike anything that is done on radio, especially half-assed, voice-tracked music radio today. I know you're laughing about that, Kel. No, that is not me. I am live. I am in studio for you every Saturday night. Meantime, he's live as well, Friday nights and Saturday nights across the state of Indiana on Network Indiana. Sports Talk in Indiana style with Bob Lovell on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. See you, Bob. He's every Friday brought to you by Express Pro Tire and Auto, your 13 Central Indiana. Joe Childers Run Locations. Hello, Bob. How are you?
I'm great, John. How are you?
Appropriately enough on this Valentine's Day, Bob, I am surrounded by liquor at Big Red Liquors right now. In particular, a lot of bourbon. I feel at home right here, Bob. I do.
Well, please tell me you're taking your beautiful wife out to dinner.
Well, I'm like, yeah. I'm going back home. Bob, does that sound awesome?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you'll be together. That's good. You're cooking dinner, right? Well, you're cooking.
Yeah. Bob, I only eat cottage cheese and Greek yogurt and tuna. So what happens there. Hey, you guys doing the show? Are we going to align the boys for the sectional play on Sunday? Is that what I'm hearing accurately?
I hope it's next Sunday.
Next Sunday, not this Sunday.
Okay.
Next Sunday. I always thought it.
I hope it's not this Sunday because I wouldn't be there if it was But yes, Greg Rastrell and I are we are all set to do the pairing show on the 23rd. I think it's from 6 until 8, and it's exciting. You know, we honored to be able to do it, and glad that we have a chance to get together and do some work and have some fun and do something that's incredibly important to a lot of basketball fans in our state. So it's all good.
I always thought that it coincided with the girls' regionals, but I guess that's the semi-state in this case, right?
I believe so. Regionals are this weekend, so it is next week, the 23rd, and you know, as we saw throughout the girls' tournament, the pairings are incredibly important. Everybody understands that. That's why there's so much excitement about it every year, because it can determine your destiny how the ping pong balls come out.
Yeah, no question about that. Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I kind of brought this up and didn't really get an expanded conversation with Kyle Nedrip about it. The job that Sharon Wilkerson is doing at his alma mater, Jeffersonville, has been, or I should say down in Jeffersonville, is incredibly impressive. Is it not so far?
Oh, it is. I mean, it starts out with his best player being out for a while. He's had a young group. They were young. They played a lot together last year, year before. The amount of time that he's taken to get the program back to a great standard has been remarkable. And, look, they're good. They're a solid basketball team that's only going to get better.
Yeah, Jeffersonville, New Albany, I know that they had that game kicked back till Wednesday, I think because of the weather down there. But it seemed like old times there a little bit, did it not, with that particular matchup down
really
in the southern part of the state?
It is. I mean, you look at this weekend, Jeff's they're hosting Jennings County, and that's all. That's a great matchup. New Albany is hosting Providence, so they play good teams. I think it's getting back to that level that it used to be. And the excitement down in that part of the state is clearly rising each week as these teams continue to play well. They're both ranked in the top 15, and so they're there for a reason. It'd be a lot of fun when that game rolls around on Wednesday.
Yeah, we talked a great deal about obviously a team like Fishers that has been so good this season as well. But we're hitting the stretch run of the regular season right here, as you mentioned. Besides, for example, those two teams we just brought up, who else in every class kind of stands out to you right now? Who's really catching fire when their coaches want to see them catch fire this time of year?
Well, I mean, you look at 4A specifically. There's still, I think one of the games tonight, which might give people a barometer, is Greenville Central is hosting Lawrence Central. I mean, there's a tremendous game right there. I mean, that is a fantastic matchup that kind of gives you an idea of I guess where you are at this particular point in the season. I think that without question, Fishers is a tremendous team. There's no question about it. But I like the Anderson story. We talked about it last week. South Bend Riley's getting better and better. In 3A, Brownstown Central continues to be one of the class teams. Obviously, Cathedral is in that mix too. Guerin and Danville tonight is a great matchup. The 1A situation down south, it's been great. Clay City has been there, been atop the rankings most of the season. It's 2A. I don't have it in front of me, but 2A is similarly balanced type of class.
Right.
So, John, there's some, as you know, there's some tremendous basketball teams around the state, and we still have a month plus to find out who's who.
Yeah, I mean, the lower levels, too. I shouldn't say lower levels. That doesn't sound right. But, in the lower classes, the more rural areas, Clay City, we talked about Clay City and the Eels having a resurgent season this year. Right. Linton is doing what Linton normally does this year as well. And, it's interesting. You're kind of mixing in, news stories, and you have kind of the same old guard. You mentioned Brownstown Central as well. They to me, across the board in athletics, have just taken over that particular pocket of southern Indiana right there. If you talk about Seymour and the Columbus schools or Jennings County or even further south, they've kind of taken over, athletically speaking, in that particular area.
Well, football, I mean, one of the reasons, John, is they have 2 Hall of Fame coaches. Reed May, their football coach, has been there forever. They're really, they're tremendous football-wise. David Benner is as good as it gets on the basketball side. Clearly a championship a year ago, poised to make another run. The amazing thing, you do it without all-star and Purdue recruit David's son, Jack. And so give them credit for having a great community interest in both places and tremendous coaching, and it's amazing what you can get accomplished.
Hey, Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk has you covered tonight and tomorrow night, and a week from Sunday. He and Greg have the pairing show for you for the fellas, and I know you're going to be all over the girls' regional action coming up tomorrow as well, right?
Tonight. It's a great day of basketball tomorrow. If you get a chance, you don't already have a ticket, stand in line and get one and go watch great regional play on the girls' side tomorrow all around the state. And join us tomorrow night, and we recap the whole night for you.
He is Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and every Friday brought to you by your Express Pro Tire and Auto, 13 Central Indiana. Joe Childers' locations here on the Fan. Bob, I appreciate it. You and the lovely enjoy one hell of a Valentine's Day with whatever you're doing. All right, down in Franklin. I'm assuming you're cooking, right? Is that you?
Well, actually, we are in Naples, Florida, right now.
Oh, you're in Naples. All right. Yeah.
We're with our daughter and son-in-law, and so I think we're going to try to do something before 8 o'clock so I can have some time to get prepared to do a radio show.
Yeah. Are there any MCLs around there? Can you hit those places before, can you get the Jack Benny played at MCL down there?
John, where we are, I don't think there are any MCLs, but we'll go try and find one. Seriously.
My brother. All right, hang loose down there. Enjoy your Valentine's Day and your back-to-back shows, Bob. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks.
So Bob Lovell brought to you by your Express Pro Tire and Auto locations. Check out Mike, US 31 and Stop 11, not too far from where we sit right now at US 31 and Fry Road. Me and our betting analyst, Brent Holverson of Heaven Hill Distillery at Big Red Liquors Cast Strength location. And this is one incredible bourbon afternoon on Valentine's Day 2025.
It really is, John. Sun shining. It's a beautiful day. Great weekend, holiday weekend. Before you start it and celebrate with your significant other or your significant bottle of bourbon, come on out here to Big Red. They've got some great deals going on.
Or your self-gratifying self.
Gratifying, that's it. Gratifying self. It's easy for you to say, right? So, yeah, Heaven Hill 7-year-old. It's normally $57.99. It's on sale for $39.99. You cannot beat that. And then, like Matt said, one of my all-time favorites for the money, it gets even cheaper today. Elijah Craig's small batch is $21.99, normally $33.99. So deals are there right there to be had. Plus, get entered for a chance to buy out of 90 allocated bourbons. So they're going to draw a name. If it's your name associated with that bottle, you have the option to buy that bottle. And it's items, John, that you can't get walking in here any day. So
you've got to be here at 5 o'clock, too.
Got to be here at 5 o'clock.
Be here at 5. We want to pack this place. All right? So 5 o'clock, make sure you're here. The whole Valentine's Day dinner stuff is not going to float. You got plenty of time.
Got a lot of time.
Plenty of time to get here at 5. Brent rejoins on the other side. If you guys have any questions regarding bourbons, too, especially some of the rare bourbons, both Brent and Matt Colglazier will be here to help answer those questions for you, either on the live mic or at 239-1070. Mike Wells, top of the hour. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. UCLA and IU tonight. That tip down in Bloomington is at 8 o'clock. Shout out to Josh. My man got me in at the Hyper today, speaking of Bloomington, from about 11:30 until about 1:30. A little bit of hoopage down there in the Hyper. Always loved that. Josh and a bunch of really good people down there playing some hoop. Always a good time. But the next level hoop, UCLA and IU coming up later on tonight. 93 WIBC has that game time for you as well. Quick break. We'll come back. Southside US 31 and Fry Road. We're in Greenwood. Big Red Liquors, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
with JMV.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, we're trying to figure out whether or not this would qualify for a slow jam. I'm going to say no. James, what say you? You played it.
Well, according to the Spotify playlist that I'm playing, it's a Valentine's Day love song.
Is it really?
Yep. According to Spotify.
Right Down the Line by Jerry Rafferty's a love song.
It's just got that like easy listening, vibe.
Listen, I love the song, Damon. You love it too, but just because the song has love in it, I don't know
I
if
need
it
your love,
means,
John.
Yeah.
It was you.
I love this song, though. So a love song? Let's just say you're putting something together for the awesome Lisa. Like a Valentine's Day mixtape. I'm sure you probably did that back in the day at Seymour High School. Would you put this song on it?
No, I probably wouldn't. I'd go with like the Grateful Dead. They love each other. I mean, we could go down the road on that one. Probably sneak in a little Led Zeppelin for, it's just all about
Led Zeppelin?
Well, yeah.
We got a whole lot of love.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a love song.
You put that halfway, like into the middle of the mix there, just when things are getting going.
See, my whole love song is what Mike Wells and I kind of talk about every week. It's that last step. You know what I mean? It helps you close the deal. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like, I don't know if I were to put the needle on the album of Jerry Rafferty, what deal that might close. And I sure as hell know Led Zeppelin's not going to close a damn
It's going to get up there and build up for you, John. You got to put on
that
what
would be
you
true.
like, you know?
Valentine's Day 2025. Brent Halverson, betting analyst, US 31 and Fry Road. Big Red Liquors. It's about the bourbon, Brent.
It really is, and it's a special day here. Again, we've said it a couple times, but the biggest thing is get in here, right? We got some samples for you to try. They've got some great deals for all day, every day. People, you can come in here and buy with prices like $10, $15, $20 off normal. You've got Heaven Hill 7-year-old, for example, which is normally $57.99 on sale for $39.99. Elijah Craig's small batch is normally $33.99. It's now $21.99. But the biggest thing is if you get entered, you can enter online, you can enter here as you come on in. You got to be here at 5 o'clock. There's 90 bottles that they're going to raffle the option to buy. 90. So that when they option to buy, right, what is that? That you come in, they draw your name. JMV, they pull out this bottle out of a bag, and it happens to be whatever it may be. Maybe it's an old Fitzgerald 11-year-old, that you just can't see on the shelves. That's what you're going to have the right to it. So pretty exciting stuff, and there's 90 bottles here. So we got a great crowd building right now, John. We've got another hour.
It is impressive over there.
It is very impressive. Another hour here to get in here, get yourself entered to the option to buy raffle, and have some fun doing it. We've got some sampling tables. We got some the giveaways over there. And the samples are a-flowing, my friend.
Hey, I know, James, we need to hit a break, but you mentioned to me, I just saw it. Can you squeeze Bruce in here? He has a question for Brent before the top of the hour. Bruce, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, John, I'm good. How are you doing?
Bruce, fantastic. You have a question for Brent Halverson?
I do. Hey, Brent, I've got all the Heaven Hill products in my man cave bar except one. The Elijah Craig 18-year-old single barrel. Is that available anywhere around here?
So I will tell you this, Bruce, and I love to hear that collection. I actually want to come over and check it out and enjoy a few of those with you. Sounds like the man cave is a place to be. So Elijah Craig 18-year, you'll start. We're actually going to get some more here in the state of Indiana here in the next month or so. Now, it is heavily, heavily allocated, as you know, so finding those are pretty tough. But you get involved in something like this here, there might be that option out there, but it will be coming to the state soon. Just can't tell you when or where it's going to be. So, but yes, my friend, that is some amazing juice, and definitely would love to get you a sample of that, or hopefully a bottle here if we can sometime.
You got it.
Right.
Bruce, thank you for the call, man. Stay in touch, all right, brother?
All right, thank you.
You got it.
Bruce.
Brandon and I on the other side. Mike Wells got a slow jam re-entry. Join us here. We will, again, recap our Big Red Liquors, US 31 and Fry Road, Bourbon Bonanza, Valentine's Day 2025. Again, you got to join us in Greenwood today. Don't go anywhere. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Whoever you are, this channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza? 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
US 31 and Fry Road, Big Red Liquors with Brett Halverson. Suburban Bonanza and Mike Wells, who joins us now.
Nah, I can't believe that I lose my trust. It's hard to be insane, and I know that let's keep one more chance to prove my love to you. Baby, you come back to me.
Hit that high note.
Guarantee that I ever let you go. Hey, I'm all about that voice, man. You know how I do it.
Is that Cooley High Harmony, the album right there on Vintage Knee, or was that a different album?
No, that was voice. That was the one with the blue CD. This is the one from the blue. You know, I'll Make Love to You was on that one.
Right.
Stuff.
See, my favorite Boys to Men slow jam was
yes.
I don't even need any words. I just need some grunts. That's it.
Listen, I want you to stay employed. So I'm not gonna make any wisecracks on those grunts, brother.
Well, I'm hoping we're doing slow jams today for Valentine's Day. What's your favorite all-time slow jam song, Mike? What do you got?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I was a big fan of Guy Let's Chill. Guy Let's Chill.
I got you.
Jodeci, Come and Talk to Me.
Yes.
Those two are up there on my probably my two favorites. Back, in the middle school, high school days when I was just hoping my parents didn't catch me kissing my girlfriend out in the driveway.
There's a lot of things I hope my mom didn't catch me doing back then. Let me tell you that, Mike. There's no doubt about that. H-Town Knocking Boots, is that another one of your favorites back then too? Shy, Comforter, too?
Listen, I was jealous when H-Town Knocking Boots came out because at that age I was not knocking any boots.
Let me tell you this. The greatest slow jam of all time, 1979. Thank you, brother. Thanks for coming out. The late Teddy Pendergrass told us all to turn off the lights.
Yeah.
Remember? And he talked about how they were going to take a shower. Let's take a shower together. I go, man, that's awesome. He put together a hell of a lyrical wizardry right there. Let's take a shower together. You wash your body, and I'll wash my. I think maybe I had that wrong.
Oh, my goodness. Yes,
turn off the lights.
Light a candle.
Oh, man, that is good stuff right there. Light a candle. Hey, Pendergrass got down back then. Let me tell you. He did. So, hey, what do we, obviously, you get to so much great stuff from the 70s, too, that way. I know James played Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on a little bit earlier, too. So, Barry White was always great selection-wise. What you up to tonight, buddy?
I'm not doing anything. I'm relaxing, man. I'm chilling because the Wells is about to be the Griswolds, man. And we got to get up early in the morning and road trip to Memphis, Tennessee for a little soccer tournament action this weekend for the son of mine. So we are going to be straight the mixed family Griswolds.
Man, that's a long way to go to play a little soccer. You can't find something closer?
No, I know, man. 6.5 hour drive each way, man. Whew.
Man, they're going ahead. They better be handing out some damn trophies for that.
And we ain't talking about participation trophies either, brother. But the good thing is, Memphis is barbecue, so I can roll with that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hey, so we're at the All-Star break here. I'd mentioned this. You watch that overtime win in Washington, and there was not a team anywhere in the NBA that looked like they needed more of an extended nap than the Pacers. Everybody's going to get that but Pascal Siakam. What do you think about the first half, and then what do you think? I say that just in terms of the All-Star break. I know we're well past the first half of the season, but post-All-Star break, what do you think about this team as it looks in the Eastern Conference?
Oh man, listen. I mean, honestly, they've proven they can beat any of the three teams in front of them. Talking about the Cavaliers, Celtics, and Knicks in the East. But at the same time, they've also proven. I mean, you're down 19 points against not just the worst team in the Eastern Conference, but the worst team in the NBA and the Wizards,
right?
And who traded away Kyle Kuzma to Milwaukee, at the trade deadline last week. So they've proven they can compete with anybody, but they're also proven they can lose to anybody. So I still believe they are, despite essentially saying Pat, that they're still below the Cavs, Celtics, and Knicks. And I think the Celtics are, despite being 5.5 games behind the Cavaliers for the best record in the East, I still put the Celtics as the best team in the Eastern Conference. But with that said, man, I remember in late 2024, you and I were talking about how much of a poop show that franchise of the Pacers were, the way they were playing. But they, to their credit, they were able to kind of essentially flip things around and get going a lot better than what they did early on in the season. They had that stretch where they won 6 in a row, 8 out of 9 games. So they're definitely playing better basketball, despite losing to the Knicks and the Lakers in 2 of the last 3 games before the break.
He's Mike Wells of ESPN Radio on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and embarking on a trip to watch soccer, Memphis, Tennessee. He joins us now. I've said this, Tyrese Halliburton, he has to be more of a threat. And I'll put this in terms, and you've covered the Pacers for so many years. You go back to covering the Timberwolves as well. You just can't be, as he has been most recently, certainly, so easily taken away. And these guys at the elite level are going to get a lot of defensive switches onto them, guys that are bigger, guys that try to take them away, double teams and all that. But it seems like that Halliburton can be easily taken away offensively from being a scoring threat. And that, simply put, that can't happen with this team, Mike.
No, they can't. And that's the sad part. I mean, as talented as Tyrese Halliburton was, I mean, this time last year, he was about to embark on enjoying All-Star Weekend here in Indy. But, we've seen where he has been completely vanished away, essentially in the shrunk mode. And, we're talking about the game against Portland when they were out west, where he had a donut, played 25 minutes, only took 3 shots, and you're having games where you're scoring 14 against the Clippers. I mean, 20 to close out before the break, but they still. You look at his numbers. Compared to years past. I mean, he's almost 3 points a game less than he had the past 2 seasons, and it hasn't been a Tyrese Halliburton type season. And being an All-Star means you're going to be a focal point of a scouting for the teams, and you got to find a way to have an impact.
So Mike Wells of ESPN Radio is with us. Now, from what you thought about Siakam, because we're well over a year now since they acquired him from the Raptors in that trade. And he's an all-star, and I know it's easy to say right now, but is he fitting as nicely with this group from a scoring angle right now as you thought he might? Are we getting out of him what you expected to get out of him when they made that trade?
All right, and I'm saying this, and I'm not doing this to mess with you about your boy, but from a scoring standpoint, yes, 21 points a game. He leads them in rebounds also. I mean, it's 7.3 a game, and you expect your boy Miles to be leading the team in rebounds. But it's Siakam. I know it's not by a lot, less than a rebound a game, but still, he's giving you an impact, meaning Pascal with almost 3.5 assists a game, also a steal a game. So, yes, it was – for years, people have talked about the Patriots need to make him, and they need to get a guy. They need to get a guy that is going to be a factor and not just a role player. And Pascal Siakam has definitely been that guy over the past, year plus for Indiana.
I love watching the Pacers recently, though. When they play bad and Miles isn't playing, you can tell who they miss. They miss his ass, and there's no doubt about that. And if anybody says otherwise, that anybody would be absolutely wrong, because they miss him. Mike, Have you ever seen teams so easily get into the lane and then they finish under the rim? Not over the rim, not with authority over the rim, but under the rim, like you are playing over at Brownsburg with a bunch of the janitorial crew over there. You know what I mean? Under the rim stuff. That's how necessary he is with this group. And if you visualize that otherwise, then you have your head up your ass. Don't you agree?
Well, yeah, and it's not even about, yes, you would love for Miles Turner to beat up every person's shot that comes in the lane. You would love for him to beat him up. But his presence alone has you thinking twice on, okay, am I going to take it all the way in for a dunk or a layup or a floater, or am I just going to sit here and settle for a mid-range jumper instead of having to alter my shot or being scared that my stuff's going to end up in the front row of Gamer Fieldhouse or pinned against the glass. So, yeah, while it's not sitting there saying he's averaging 3 or 4 blocks a game on tumble, so his presence alone has just about every player thinking twice on if they want to go in and contest and try to challenge Miles from a defensive standpoint.
No, there's no doubt about that. It just and really there are a couple of different areas, but that's the one that stands out the most. And it's not even, finishing above the rim when you're doing that athletically is one thing, but these guys just swooping in for high school layups just is ridiculous. And that happens over and over and over again when he is not in the lineup. And the other thing, too, people, I think, equate him to, well, if he's not getting a block, then what good is he? He makes these guys on the other team make decisions. Yes.
Jay, time out. First of all, anybody who says, what good is Miles if he's not blocking the shot, they don't know damn basketball.
They don't know. They don't.
They don't know what they're talking
and
about.
I'm happy. I am happy we have talked about that to the masses, and now they understand. Before, it was a larger percentage of people that didn't know, but we have educated to the level that has been necessary, so now I think it's more easily understood.
Yeah, and it should be. You don't have to block every shot. So, again, I call those stat people who just simply look at the stat sheet and say Miles did not do what he was supposed to do and block every shot. They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
No doubt about it.
You asked me about where the Pacers are at. All right, so second half of the season, can they catch? Do you believe they are better than any other 3 teams in front of them in the standings?
I don't. I think that they can be better this year, but not go deeper into the postseason as they did a year ago. I think both things can be true here. I don't think that they have shown consistently that they're going to, and that's part of it, is they have been such a roller coaster ride. And I was talking to Jeremiah Johnson the other day about this, and I'm hoping this is all about this group being a little bit out of juice, whether it's going to Paris or a 4-game Western roadie after that, whatever, because they have been discombobulated, especially recently. January, they looked great. February, not so great. They were fortunate in Salt Lake City, fortunate in L.A. against the Clippers, fortunate the other night in D.C., but better teams, like what you're talking about, they're not going to qualify as letting them be that fortunate as an end result. So they've got to get something right. They've got to get more consistent. And to me, that starts at the top of the list with Tyrese Halliburton. He has to be consistent. He has to be that threat and cannot so easily be taken away.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hey. So here's my question. Was Tyrese Halliburton a one-hit wonder in making the All-Star team? Meaning, obviously, one and done. He had that one hit, and he's just ho-hum the rest of the way? Or can he, in your mind, can he get back to being an All-Star caliber player?
No, I think that he has to make some adjustments, and I guess we would call this significant adjustments. And I agree with Dustin DePurak of the Star, because we've talked about this before. Mike, he's got to get in the weight room. He's got to get in the weight room and get stronger, because you see him kind of fiddle around and trying to get by guys he can't get by. You see him deferring when he gets close to the rim, And I know that's kind of the way that he is built as a pass-first guy, but he has to be more selfish. And I think to be more selfish, he has to be stronger. He has to be able to take it stronger and harder and be able to finish. And where he is right now with his level of strength, I don't think he's capable of doing that. So I just think, simply put, he has to get stronger.
And they're going to be tested right out the gate coming out after the break. I know, outside of Siakam, who's out in the Bay Area right now, they're out there enjoying, living their best life, relaxing and letting their bodies recover. But you're coming out against, out the break against the second-best team in the West in the Memphis Grizzlies. Then you're going to have to face the sixth-best team in the Clippers. And then we know what the Joker does, the third-best team in the West with the Denver Nuggets. So it's not like they're going to be able to slow roll their way out after the break. They're going to come around and either get punched in the mouth from the get-go, or they're going to be like, all right, we're ready for a strong second half push, quote unquote, second half of the season push to challenge the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference.
Got to be good to go, man. Seriously, you got expectations. Now, that's the other thing, too. They have expectations. I mean, we're all happy-go-lucky, skipping around. Hey, isn't this great? This is so nice. Yeah, this year you've got a level of expectations, and I know I just mentioned that they may not reach where they did a year ago, but I think you have to play at a level or certainly higher than they did a year ago, and I'm still waiting for them to match that. And that kind of starts with their leader, Tyrese Halliburton. So that's, to me, they've got a level of expectations and a point where they have to reach. Hey, Mike, I get a lot on the line here. I'm the one that said bring all these guys back. They can't jack around and screw me over on this, buddy.
And we know how your naysayers are. If they don't, they're going to say, God, damn it, Jay, you told them to bring it all back, and this is what happened. They didn't even get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. They flamed out in the first round, or they couldn't even push whoever they faced in the conference finals to get to a 6th or 7th game. Oh, they're going to try to run you out of town quick.
Hey, they'll be saying, hey, we told you that Thomas Bryant would be okay as a starter. You don't need 33. That's the other thing, too. I think it'd be easier to make a decision on Miles in the offseason if things don't go anywhere near expectation down the stretch here. You agree?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, make it easier. Make it easier to make a tough decision on Miles is what I should say, I guess.
Yeah. So take your heart out of this, and I say your heart, and I'm only teasing you because you're my guy. When the season comes next year, Miles Turner with the team.
I think so. I think not only is he going to be here, but I think he should be here. I think that this is something where I think we're going to see him, to me, close out his career here with one team, which would be incredible considering how many times he's been on the trading block. And I know all the percentages, especially the way the era is in the NBA of guys leaving and not staying with one team. But yeah, I think they have that understanding, and I do believe in this team coming up here after the All-Star break, and that's the reason why I bring this up. If they don't live up to these expectations, then that's going to make a difficult decision like that, I think, form a little bit easier for them to make, and that would be the reason, or one of the reasons why you wouldn't see him as a part of this in the future. But, hey, Mike, they have no answer for what he does, and he's essential personnel. And as you mentioned a little bit earlier, you have to be an extreme jackass not to understand that.
Yeah, it's common basketball sense, quite honestly. I'm sorry. I know you and I are probably insulting some of your listeners, but it's the reality.
Yeah, that's okay. The ones that are getting insulted deserve to be because they have their head up their ass, so that's okay. We know the smart ones. I know the smart ones already, but there are some out there that, and again, we got some slow learners too, so we're just trying to educate, but it's true. It is true. Yeah, who cares if he has a hobby with Legos? Who cares of what he wears to the game? All that crap is stupid. All that matters is how this team performs, and he is essential personnel. And if you don't believe that, and if you think there's an easy solution out there to find, good luck with finding it.
No,
tell me who it is.
100%, my brother. 100%. Hey, I know we normally go a couple more minutes, but I got to run. I got my dog losing his mind out there this weekend. Hey,
what's he doing? Your dog's doing what?
he's losing his mind right now, man. Yeah. So I got to run, brother. Hey, have a great weekend.
All right,
kill it on the slow jams, man.
You got it. It's Mike Wells of ESPN Radio on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Brent Holverson rejoins us. We're in Greenwood, cast strength, Big Red Liquors. Tell them why.
It's because it's one of probably the greatest days of the year so far in 2025,
God,
John.
it
It's
is,
Valentine's Day at Big Red Liquors, and there's a lot of great deals to be had. Got a pretty full house building up in here.
I have not seen on the other side over there. What's it look like?
There's probably a good 80, 90 people in the store. I mean, it's a big store, which is awesome. But you got another about 40 minutes before the raffle will start.
Get here.
Get here now. And again, all the special pricing that they have throughout the store and everything is awesome as well. But
I see Cold Glazer right over there behind
Matt's
the counter.
back there working hard today. Look at the staff back here just rocking and rolling. I love it. This is going to be exciting. We're going to hear some loud hoots and hollers here starting at the 5 o'clock hour, John.
I was thinking maybe, I don't know, win the right to buy a bottle, a rare bottle, maybe some zigzags on the way home. What the hell? What do you think?
Yeah, might make for a really good Valentine's Day, my friend. It's however you'd like to celebrate. So, got to have some good bourbon to go, some great chocolates, and whatever
Happy
to fill your
Valentine's Day
zigzags
to me
with.
right
So
there.
that's
Yeah,
it.
give me a rare bourbon and some zigzags. I'm ready to rock.
Call
here.
it a day right there, man.
We'll talk on the other side
Absolutely.
about this once again. Refresh the memory of folks here. Again, we're at US 31 in Fry Road in Greenwood today. This is a very special Valentine's Day, and especially if you love bourbons, and especially if you love rare bourbons. And we don't know what is going to be the picks here.
We don't, and originally it was going to be 50 bottles, but 90 bottles back there kind of hidden under a paper bag of sorts. Mr. Colglazer is going to be randomly pulling, and if you draw your name, you'll have the right to buy that bottle. So they'll show you what you have the option to buy, and if you don't want it, then I'm sure somebody else will. But it's going to all start at 5 o'clock, so you got about a little shy of 40 minutes here. Get in, get your entries in, and have a chance. But then also some great deals coming up. You can buy, like I mentioned before, I mean, Elijah Craig, $21.99 is an absolute steal for the small batch. Heaven Hill 7-year-old bottle and bond, $39.99, normally $57.99. The deals are here. It's right, and it's time to be here. So come on out and get some great bourbon for the big festive holiday. Go along with those chocolates we mentioned, your chocolate-covered strawberries.
Yeah.
And some bourbon and your
You think
zigzags.
I'm offending the AAA membership lounge right here by standing up? I just noticed that.
Not at all. You're just showing off the physique,
the
man.
AAA membership lounge is getting a
showing
getting
how
a show
chiseled you
right
are.
here. Sorry about that. I'll sit back down. I didn't even notice that.
Looking good, man.
Quick break, and we'll come back. Matt Kloglazer is going to join us, too, from Big Red Liquors, along with Brent Holverson. Dev's the on-site engineer. James back at the studio. Kevin and Chris over there. We're at Big Red Liquors. Matt, with all of your questions coming up. What's this?
Ryan Nally says you're cracking him up with the zigzags. That's awesome.
Give me a rare bourbon and some zigzags, and I'll be ready to go home.
Classic.
Matt's going to join us on the other side along with Brent. Any questions at 239-1070? Bring it. We'll get you on the air coming up. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
homeboy, my rotten soldier. He's my sweet cheese, my good time boy.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, this is by definition, turn it up here, slow jam. 1996. This is the great singer, songwriter, composer Teddy Riley and Blackstreet. You guys remember this? You're going to crank this up at your school dance. James, it's called Don't Leave. I'm going to hit the post on that bad boy right here, too. God, I love this song.
Hey, we've also got a Tom Drake sighting. Tom Drake's precious right in front of us right there.
Tom Drake, shout out to you.
He
right
is
there.
known as Mr. Valentine. So
Mr. Valentine's Tom Drake would dig on the Blackstreet on the Don't Leave slow jam re-entry right there. James back in the studio. We are at Big Red Liquors, US 31 and Fry Road. This is cask strength. It is different. And we have just an incredible bourbon blowout going on. Brent Halverson, betting analyst, Heaven Hill Distillery. And look here, the genius from Big Red Liquors, Matt Colglazier, rejoins us right now. How we doing over there, Matty?
Doing great.
Doing great. Absolutely. Look at the store filling up. This is wonderful. I love seeing this. And again, 90 options for the right to buy a bottle. 90. And these aren't going to be what you can find out on the shelf. I'll tell you that. And I know Mr. Colglazer's probably got some nice tricks in the bag over there.
Nowhere better to be than a liquor store on Valentine's Day.
That's absolutely right.
Let me tell you this. There's no
right.
truer words ever spoken than what you just mentioned.
That is spot on.
By the way, shout out to Sarah, our friend, who came out, and she brought us Arby's, right?
Yeah, how about that?
She brought us some Arby's. You know what she got me? She got me 2 hamburger patties.
Bunless Arby's. All right.
Bunless hamburger. I love you, Sarah. Thank you very much. This is Protein Central, baby, right here for me. 2 hamburger patties from Sarah. All right, so, Matt, we're doing well. We're going to take some calls, too, rest of the way. Bourbon-wise, I know some people want to talk IU. Bob, I'll get your call in just a second as well. But again, let's refresh everybody's memory about what we're here for.
Hey, we're here for celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yes.
You can't start the day off right unless you have a great bottle of bourbon. Maybe some Lindemann's Framboise, which is hot price
Framboise.
too. All kinds of good stuff here. Before you go home and pick up some chocolates on the way, nothing goes better than chocolate than some good bourbon. So
chocolate, bourbon. We've got a 25% off wine sale going on right now. Got a little bit for
all kinds of good stuff.
Something for everybody.
A lot of fun to be had.
Yep.
All starts here at Cask Strength and Greenwood.
Whose idea was this? You?
Well, let me tell you, this started because last year we had 50 Cent here.
I remember that.
And my Valentine's Day date with my wife, as she reminded me this week, was you took me to a liquor store and made me watch 50 Cent sign bottles for 3 hours, and then we went out to dinner. I said, yeah. We need to anniversary those sales.
That's a good ass time, let me tell you.
But like JMV, 50 Cent.
I can do it in the club for anybody right now.
This is trumping that. That was nothing last night.
Now, sure as hell throw a baseball better than he does. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Nah, was he a good dude?
He was super nice.
That's awesome.
Very shy.
I like to hear that.
Yeah, very shy, but he took time with everybody. So, yeah, I mean, you never know till they come in. But he was, can't imagine all those people like touching you for 3 hours straight. But
I'm trying to imagine that right now. Hey, I was going to ask you this. I was down in Bloomington today at the Hyper, and we're both very familiar with Bloomington, Matt. How's this compare to the big superstore in Bloomington that's on College? It's not the original, but that's the one that's the old A&P right there. How does this place compare?
That was the second store. So
Yeah.
I think 72 was the first store, which is literally in this picture right behind you.
Yeah, that's the one that's a little further north.
And then 6 years
across from Doc Johnson's.
Yeah, that's right. that was yeah. It was originally called Blair's, and then 6 years later they moved, or they didn't move. They opened that location in an old A&P grocery store, which I think at the time was that's a huge liquor store. Nobody needs a liquor store that big, but that's been a great location, and Bloomington has really grown up around it. I mean, you see all the apartments, and it's
so different. Then you had that. It was an A&P, and then it had a place called Ivanhoe's, which was an Italian restaurant where the Waffle House went into, and I don't know what's over there now, but that's kind of the transition that whole area has made. But after A&P, it's been you guys right there.
Yep,
So,
we've been there for a long time.
Pretty amazing. I didn't know because it seemed like it's as big, close to as big as the cast strength here in
That
Greenwood.
store's maybe a little bigger, but it's pretty full like this one.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, we've got a Bourbon Fest going on here.
It really is, and it's a great way to start the holiday here, the Valentine's Day holiday. And again, you come in and get some samples. You get some get your raffles entered for the option to buy, and there'll be some special bottles. I'm anxious to see. We got 25 minutes left here.
E.H. Taylor, Elmer T. Lee, Stag.
They're coming out.
We got a bottle of Pappy. We got some. We got some George.
Are you kidding me? That's
George,
what everybody asks.
Everybody asks.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What is what is Pappy's deal? Does that make sense to you? Why do you almost have fights break out for it?
So Pappy Van Winkle was originally the sales. Basically, he was like the national sales manager for Old Fitzgerald, and that's really what he was. He never really had a brand. That was his brand. And then when Julian and some of his sons and grandsons got into the business, they really used his name and likeness to create that brand. Originally, it started with juice from the old Stitzel Weller distillery, and then when that was running out, they partnered with Buffalo Trace to produce something, quote-unquote, similar to it. What it really is now is just they kind of get first pick of all the Weller. So it's wheated bourbon. It's the same recipe as Weller. It is Weller. They just get to pick, however much they want to produce. We want to take these 100 barrels. This is 12-year. We're going to take these 50 barrels. This is 20-year. They kind of get their pick of the litter.
And it's just so hard to find. It's created this name. It's almost the thrill of the hunt to be able to find one.
Yeah,
So
it's hard to get. I mean, if you could get it every
super hard to
day, it's just like zombie dust. People used to follow trucks around to get zombie dust from Three Floyds, and now that they produce plenty of it, it still sells really well. It's a great beer, but you just don't. It's supply and demand.
Yeah,
it's funny. I bring this up all the time, Matt, about Yuengling. When you couldn't get it here and people would drive to Ohio to get it, for example, and it was like you're smoking the Bandit, like you're doing something illegal. I'm bootlegging here when you really weren't doing anything illegal. But once it landed here, that whole perspective kind of gets different when it's that easy. And if you remember, we were at your Broad Ripple location, and you were doing the zombie dust when it was, I guess, you call it small batch created back then. There wasn't as much as there is today.
Right.
And somebody broke a bottle. Do you remember that? And there was this gasp over the crowd standing in line.
Yep.
Like, somebody just, I don't know how to put it. Lost a family member, lost an animal. I go, everybody. It was incredible, but you're right.
Yeah.
When you create that demand with a very small supply and you got something special like that, it can turn into something new.
Yeah. And it's fun to have those items. And honestly, I always tell people, just cultivate a taste for bourbon you can buy every day. There's nothing wrong. I mean, one of my favorite whiskeys, we talked about Elijah Craig. I really like Maker's 101. I think that's one of the best bourbons that Beam produces. I mean, there's tons of stuff. Wild Turkey 101. That is a great whiskey. If you charge $200 for it and put it in a fancy bottle, nobody would know the difference. So cultivate a taste for things that are available to you, and then appreciate the things that come your way when they do. And I think for most people, and this is the case for me, I think it's the case for most of the folks here, they're going to share that bottle with somebody special. It's going to be a special occasion. So there's more meaning in the fact that it's hard to get, and then there is they really like so-and-so whiskey. That's not really what it's about.
You're right. I mean, you said it spot on there too, Matt. I mean, you find what you can drink on the daily, right, that you really enjoy. But when you do find it, that's special. So when you do break it out for a couple buddies sitting around, or a Valentine's Day with, with getting some chocolates in your zigzags. Yeah, you can do it all right there. But that's what it's all about. It's creating that celebration of just being able to enjoy it. So a lot of good stuff going to be had here to sneak on that back bar at home if you're here by 5.
And that's what we do with our Bourbon World store locations. I mean, we get monthly Buffalo Trace allocations. They go to those stores. People can come in. If they're there, we put them out, little dribs and drabs during the week, and, they get to pull a good bottle. So
How often do you get Pappy, for example, here?
Pappy's once a year. Pappy and BTAC are always allocated in November and December. So BTAC usually comes the third week of November, and Pappy comes in the first week of December every year.
See, this is all stuff I did not know.
Yeah.
So that creates a buzz right there. Is there, like, the taste in Pappy, is it just that different, that elite?
I mean, I think that flavor, I think the reputation was cultivated when it was the old Stitzel-Weller juice.
Okay.
That was different. Different distillery, made it a different time period. There's all kinds of different things that go into a bourbon, lots of little things that can make something special, and that's how they really cut their teeth reputation-wise. Now it's good, it's Weller, it's great juice, but it's not exactly what it once was, even though it's still really good.
Man. Still has the allure, though, the thrill of the hunt, being able to find a bottle. And I mean, hey, at Old Fitzgerald and Larceny, we had the same yeast strain. It was the same thing back then. So there's some good juice that you can find out there on the daily that's sitting on these shelves here. So a lot of good stuff to be had.
And you with Heaven Hill Distillery, you've got a display out there as well going.
A couple things out there, a lot of good stuff. I mean, again, a store like this is so, I love seeing it. And it's just, having something this big and clean and it's still so full, but it feels so open. And to be able to fit a good 100+ people in here right now,
I love
exciting.
all these people in it. This is awesome.
This is great.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to hear the hooting and hollering come 5 o'clock.
Locally owned and operated.
And that's the best part about it. Absolutely right.
Yeah. People think we're this big, giant company, but, ownership's here. Everybody lives here.
I explain that to folks all the time.
We are not, we're not a big chain. We have a lot of stores, but we're all here. So.
Well, and you and I grew up with it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we grew up with it. It was, that was where, in and around Bloomington, you knew about that. And then it's kind of amazing the leaps that you guys have taken since that point in time in the state of Indiana. Now, you're only in the state of Indiana, right?
Yeah, we owned 3 stores in Kentucky for a hot minute down in Bowling Green, which I actually liked because I like going down there. It was a bit of a vacation. You got to go to Kentucky. You got Kentucky allocations. You got to get a different sense of the business. Those were
you got to go barefoot.
That was a wet county surrounded by 5 dry counties.
Yes, and I believe Murray, Kentucky is one dry county too down there where Murray State is.
So the bootleggers would come, they'd pull their truck up on a Friday night, and you'd put like a pallet of Early Times 200 mLs in the truck, and then they would drive out to whatever spot and disperse it the way they do. So that was fun. But
That's
no, all
awesome.
the stores are in Indiana. Our northernmost stores in Fremont, almost to the border, and our southernmost stores in French Lick. So
know that one very well. Did you see it? Well, Ryan has that Heaven Hill Distillery.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Where did you get that?
Got that in Bardstown at our gift shop.
That's badass right there, man. That's like something I don't have. Like my entire closet.
I don't even have one of those, John.
My entire closet's Heaven Hill Distillery activewear now. So I don't, and I don't have that. That's impressive. I've never seen that before.
We'll have to do some work and get to. You know what we were talking about? Well, we'll have to talk further about this, but getting you down to do a pick with us, and maybe we can do some tie-in stuff. But I think that'd be fun to do. Maybe even do a broadcast from a barrel pick down there. What do you think?
I think that's great. I've had people want us to do a trip down there all together like that too. Twofold. People want to do that, and people want to go to Terrapin Station.
That's right.
Well, and do a live show at Terrapin Station in Nashville.
That's something we can put together as well.
Now, did you discuss that with Michelle yesterday? Maybe Terrapin Station live remote in
We didn't
Nashville?
talk about that. We talked about some other stuff that's coming up that'll be pretty fun. But
all right. If you guys have any questions for Matt and Brent right now regarding any of what we have discussed, anything bourbon, really, anything in the business itself, 239-1070, you can hit that. I know Bob's on hold. I'll get Bob on the other side. IU UCLA tonight down in Bloomington. That's an 8 o'clock start, tip time-wise, at Assembly Hall. 93 WIBC, Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, who joins us at 5 as your pregame beginning at 7 o'clock. Boilermakers, Wisconsin, coming up tomorrow. Butler and Georgetown tomorrow as well. Pacers off until next Thursday when they open up a 4-game homestand against the Memphis Grizzlies at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. However, the All-Star weekend is underway, and Pascal Siakam of the Pacers is out in San Francisco. Brent and Matt rejoin your calls at 239-1070 on the other side. And Brent, This is a bourbon extravaganza going on today.
It really is. And if you're anywhere near the area, get in here. You've got 15 minutes before this right to buy raffle will start. And again, I can tell you 90 amazing bottles. We've heard a little bit of the peek underneath the sheets from Matt over here, but 15 minutes that will all start, and it'll probably last a good 30, 45 minutes, I would think. Again, I think your odds are pretty good. You got 100 people in here, so hey, there might be more. There's more coming through the door right now, but to come out, join us. We got some great samples. We got some great all-day, everyday specials that Big Red always has, and some great juice to be had.
US 31 and Fry Road is our location. Cask Strength, Big Red Liquors. Matt and Brent, and I'm John. We rejoin on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Get those calls in as well at 239-1070. Back with you next.
boy. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
See ya. I love Mike and Carla, by the way, too, man. Thank you very much for coming out here. Cash strength location. Crank this up for me, James, right here. A little slow jam re-entry. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We celebrate with bourbon, cask strength, Big Red Liquors. The raffle with the winners and the option to buy is about ready to take place at 5 o'clock. This place is absolutely packed right now, too. US 31 Fry Road in Greenwood. We would love to see you here. Still a little bit of time to slide by as they start that raffle coming up here at 5 o'clock. Brent Halverson rejoins in a second. Bob's at 239-1070 right now. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Doing good, JMV. I'll make it real quick.
Sure,
Everybody
Bob.
knows that Indiana was in the running for some good recruits that are high school seniors currently, including a couple from the state of Indiana that ultimately declared for other schools. So my question is, now that we know there's going to be a change at the head coaching position at IU, are those players able to reconsider Indiana at this point, or do you think they'd be interested in that?
Now, if you're asking me, if like, are you referencing Mullins from Greenfield Central? Is that one that you're talking about?
He would be one of them, yes.
Yeah, I would doubt. I bet he stays strong with Danny Hurley and UConn. However, I will tell you this: nothing is ever etched in stone in this universe of collegiate athletics now. So nothing would surprise me. I take that back. That would surprise me. But I wouldn't be floored by anything. So I don't know if that gives you a lot of hope. I would not expect it. But again, I'm not going to ever downplay anything because it is so easy, to drop a commitment and then go someplace else or get in the transfer portal once you're at a place. It is way too damn easy to suggest something like that would never happen.
Would the new coach even be allowed to reach out to those kids?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if he's allowed. I think everything's allowed now. Who cares? I mean, right? I mean, you do whatever you want. And like, I give you a great example. My friend Dusty May, who's at Michigan now, doing a great job up there. When he went to the Final Four of Florida Atlantic, they were in the regional semifinal and final at Madison Square Garden, and other coaching staffs and reps of other schools were calling his players in their hotel rooms in New York City. Like between games, between the regional semifinal, and that was before everything went wide ass open, or at least that was like on the verge of becoming that. So, yeah, none of that crap matters anymore. I mean, and really, if they're going to find a way to find communication, even when, it was so-called illegal or you couldn't do it, but now it is absolutely the Wild West. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I just wondered, obviously where everybody's pretty fired up about the prospects of a new coach, and I'm just thinking, maybe some of these high school kids that we were hoping would choose Indiana could reconsider. I don't know. Just wondered. So thanks for
thank you, Bob. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath on any of that stuff. However, to suggest that no change of heart ever happened, I mean, we live in a world right now. College athletics is a world of change of heart. College athletics is to the highest bidder. So matters the most. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, getting set for a big one. UCLA and IU down in Bloomington later on tonight. The voice of the Hoosiers joins us. Cask strength location, that's where we are in Greenwood at Big Red Liquors. And our bourbon extravaganza, it's getting right down to it. And our right to buy a raffle coming up here at 5 o'clock. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Valentine's Day celebration. We're doing it with bourbon at the cast strength location of Big Red Liquors. The raffle and the option, if you win the raffle, to buy is underway with not just 50 bottles, but 90 bottles of rare bourbon going on. Brent Halverson joins. We're going to get to Don Fisher in just a second, but how are we doing over there? We just started?
It just started, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's quiet in here now, but there's 150, 200 people in here. Everybody just waiting to hear their name being called. What Matt's doing, he's picking it up. He's got a bottle of Blanton's right now. He reads the name. They come up, get their bottle. Then they have the option to buy it. So it is on right now. We got 90 bottles that he's going to be doing. So this will be going on
Man,
for a
I'm
while.
going to get absolutely hammerlocked tonight.
That's right.
That's how it feels
it's
right
a good
there.
Good day to be happy, right, John?
Bourbon and basketball. And on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, the voice of the Hoosiers, 8 o'clock tip time tonight. 7 o'clock coverage begins, 93 WIBC. We appreciate Don Fisher, wherever he might be right now on the road, on his way to Bloomington, hanging out, whatever, joining us before UCLA and IU. Hello, Don.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm at the Cast Strength location. I'm at 31 and Fry Road. Big Red Liquors right now. We're having a bourbon raffle. 90 bottles of rare bourbons are going to be raffled off here. You want one?
Is my name on the is my name in the raffle?
If you want it to be, it can.
Well, put it in.
Okay, I got you. Is there anything that you want a hard target? Is there something you like?
Whatever he's got.
Oh, well, we got that aplenty. We got whatever. Actually, if you're watching on my live stream right now on YouTube Live, we've got that right here in front of me for you. Now, where are you on the road?
I'm literally just on Smith Valley, headed down to the interstate to head down to Bloomington.
Hey, Don, watching this team play the other night, and perseverance and execution, two words that you and I have both talked about that has not been a part of descriptions of this IU basketball team often this season. But we saw, I thought, both at the end of that game in a tough environment on the road. What did you think? And does any of that transfer to tonight versus UCLA at home?
Well, that's a good question, John. How much transferring have we seen this year off of a good
Not much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I will say this. I give these kids a lot of credit. They came back after a tough loss to Michigan, and they bounced back in a big way, knocking off Michigan State. And no doubt. I mean, Michigan State's really a well-coached team. They play really hard. They struggle to shoot from outside, and Indiana exploited that with their zone defense that they went to about midway through the first half and stayed with it the rest of the ball game, and Michigan State couldn't conquer it. So you have to feel good about what they were able to do, the adjustment that Indiana made during the first half of the contest, and it changed the whole ball game. And so I look at it this way, John. I'd love to see more of that as the season continues down the road because they have 6 games left starting tonight. And if they can put together a little bit of a win streak here, they'll take them out of the position of being on the bubble in regard to making the Big Ten tournament. And then the other aspect of it is, John, they still have enough good opponents to play against that they still have the slight possibility of making the NCAA tournament.
No, and this is one of those games tonight that, can help tell the tale of the tape here moving forward. Right. I mean, like what you saw, I guess what we could say, they repositioned themselves on Tuesday night, and you come out and lose this game tonight, and it's all for naught right there because there's an opportunity to build on that and then build on that resume with Mick Cronin's squad in town this evening.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And Mick Cronin's squad right now is tied for 5th place and just 2 or 3 games out of 1st place at this point in this crazy Big Ten conference. So there's no doubt that this team has the talent to get it done. The question is, will they have the perseverance, the toughness, the energy and the effort levels that it takes to get this thing done here at the end of the season. We saw it last year. I mean, they had a 5-game winning streak at the end of last season, and they of course got in the Big Ten tournament, and they won their first ball game and then got knocked off by Nebraska for a second time. So there's no question, but they are capable of doing that, and they have more talent than they had a year ago. So my feeling is at this juncture they've got it in their hands, and I think it's in the players' hands for the most part, because with the resignation of Coach Woodson at the end of the season, what do they want to play for? And do they want to try to get this thing done?
Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher again. That tip against UCLA in Bloomington, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock coverage begins with Don and Eric and John Herrick coming up at 7 o'clock, 93 WIBC. Malik Renew looked much different, played much stronger on Tuesday night. Do you think that was a situation where he felt better coming back from this injury, or was it just personality-wise a different approach on the floor for him?
Well, I think it's a combination of the two. I think he felt better. I think the knee is better than it was. The thing to me, John, and we've talked about this before this season, at times throughout the season, playing two bigs at one time.
Sorry about that. Somebody's getting booed. Somebody just won a really expensive, rare bottle of bourbon, and they're getting booed for it, Don. Sorry.
Was it me? Was it me?
It was not you, I don't think. They would not boo you regardless. But somebody just got roundly booed over there. Man, that's funny. Hey, Don, this is some serious business. I bet there's 200 people in this liquor store right now. It's incredible.
Ooh,
absolutely incredible.
That is incredible.
So,
well, at any rate, what was I saying? I can't remember.
You were talking about Renew. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Malik, I think, has gotten. I think he's feeling better now. But like I said before, we've talked about this a lot of times this year. Playing two bigs at one time just doesn't seem to work for this team very well. And in that ball game, it was Malik and Umar both coming up with double-doubles in the contest. And to do that, that's pretty impressive. And again, they weren't on the floor together very much at all in that ball game at the same time. So I think that smaller lineup, the older guys playing a lot more these days, I think that's had a big factor, at least for in that Michigan State game.
Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, with us. You mentioned, I think, 5th in the conference right now. What's your thoughts on what you have seen, what you have heard, what people are talking about this UCLA basketball team?
Well, I think their biggest weakness, John, is rebounding. They got clobbered on the boards in that matchup with Illinois the other night. But again, it was their first game after making the long trip east for this 2-day or for this 5-day stretch that they're facing both Illinois and Indiana. So that may have had something to do with their performance. But they gave Illinois a game. They got back into the contest after being down by double digits, I think, in the first half. They were back in the game because they shot it very, very well. And they're a good outside shooting team, so I'm not sure that the zone will be a factor in this game tonight, but we'll see. All I can tell you is I think they've got a good basketball team. I know Cronin is a really good coach. He'll try to probably slow this game down a little bit with Indiana, try to take away what they like to do and see if he can control Indiana's three-point shooters, Abaco and Goody and those kinds of things. So I think they're a good basketball team. I think Indiana will have their hands full, and they will have to play some of their best basketball.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And really, taking teams for granted is not something you would want to do. You just want to see this group put something together that's longer lasting than a couple of minutes or, maybe half of a second half of play or something like that. Something a little bit more, I guess, Don, that we could grasp and say, all right, well, things are evolving when they should finally right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we're hoping for. Again, we haven't seen that any kind of consistency in that department so far this season. So My feeling on this, John, is that this basketball team will learn more here tonight because they're going to have 8 days between the next ball game or this game and the next game, which is against Purdue at home next weekend. So they're going to have time to reflect and maybe get back to maybe some fundamentals and those kinds of things to get ready for that matchup. But if they can win tonight, they're on a little bit of a win streak, and I think that gives them a lot more confidence than they've been playing with lately.
I don't think there's any question about that, too. I did. We should probably just double back to Michigan State before I let you go here one more time. And the zone defense worked out. But there was also that thing that we had talked about. There was some perseverance involved there, too. They got coached up, and they hung with it, and that was to a detriment for Michigan State. But, the perseverance is something that we've rarely been able to talk about with this team. Normally when the going gets tough, they get going. But they hung in there as well as you could in that environment, I thought, on Tuesday night in front of you.
About 4 of the last 6 games, John, about 4 of the last 6 ball games, they've played some pretty good basketball. They just haven't been able to finish games. Against Michigan State, they got that done, which I think was a huge get in regard to their mentality and the confidence and maybe even perseverance. And we'll see if that plays out tonight as well. But, you hope a team builds on something like they were able to do against Michigan State. And if that happens, then they're going to have a chance because they've got enough talent to be factors.
Man, we've talked about this all year, too. Individually, these guys are as talented as anybody. It's just the collective part, when you put it together, that you wonder, what the hell goes down when that happens. And you saw signs collectively of this group doing just that on Tuesday. It's just a shame you couldn't see more because individually speaking, that is a talented bunch.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And, they were ranked one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the country getting players out of the transfer portal in the summertime. And everybody thought this was a team that was going to compete for a Big Ten championship. And we don't think that's possible any longer. But it's still a team that's got the talent to do that and play as well as they can and maybe do something big in the Big Ten tournament. So, again, they've got a lot to play for still, John. And we'll see if they can pull it together and get it done.
All right, Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, would like a bottle of bourbon. You got anything in mind? You want a little bottle of Bond from Heaven Hill Distillery? That's top shelf right here. I got Brent Halverson. I think we could probably work that out.
Well, if he's got top shelf stuff, I'll take it.
All right, Brent, jump on here. Don Fisher's with us right now. Brent, tell him all about it.
Don, for you, we absolutely get you taken care of, my friend. There's nothing better than a little good old Heaven Hill 7-year-old bottle and bond for a fine gentleman like you, so we will make that happen.
What do you think, Don?
I am elated.
Well, I tell you what, I'll bring a bottle with me, and you and I, because they have a week off, you and I can hit up our table maybe next Friday, and I'll bring it with me. How about that?
That sounds like a winner. We'll be coming back. We're actually going to take a little trip down to Florida for 3 days, but at any rate, we'll be home by Friday. So I think that's a plan.
Well, yeah.
And you tell
either way, we'll hook it up.
You tell Brent I said thank you because that's obviously very kind of him.
Absolutely, Don. Hey, look forward to it. Have a great time in Florida. Have a great Valentine's Day tonight, and hopefully we'll catch you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Again, UCLA IU tonight. That tip time's at 8, 7 o'clock. Coverage begins with their pregame show, 93 WIBC. That's Brent Halverson. What was the massive boo about over there?
Well, there was there's a couple hundred people in here, right? This is pretty awesome. I mean, it's just Matt standing on the big bar top over there, kind of randomly pulling a bottle and a name. And a gentleman got pulled for a bottle. I don't know what it was. And then as he was walking up to get that, they took it and he walked away and they called his name again. He somehow got entered in there twice. And then he got the booze because you're only supposed to enter to once. And he walked with his first bottle, and the bottle of Blanton's Gold went to somebody else. So that's why everybody got all excited about. Little fun little drama there.
A little bit, not controversy, but drama.
Not controversy. Not even drama, really. It just adds a little excitement and stuff, something like this. Everybody's sitting there just waiting to hear their name. Again, these are items that you can't find, John. So this is pretty special when you're here, and to see a couple hundred people make it here on Valentine's Day. Pretty exciting stuff here, and it's kind of probably halfway through. We originally thought we were going to have 50 bottles, and Matt told us he was doing 90. So there's
a
90.
ton of people.
There are a ton of people here. It's pretty cool to see.
It is awesome. So shout out to everybody down here who listens to the show and came out. You know, when we do a show at Terrapin Station.
That's right.
We've got to get Don Fisher out to Terrapin Station,
absolutely.
too.
Maybe we might catch him after the game. We can come over. We can sit down and enjoy some good Heaven Hill bourbon together.
Man, oh, man, right there. So how long does this thing last, you think? And I need to know, by the way, I'm going to have another. If you got more samples.
We'll make samples happen.
Johnny, be ready for samples.
We got a bottle right there.
I know. I could. Yeah.
I would say they're probably halfway through it, John. To be honest with you, I think it was probably a 40-minute deal here. So started right at 5 and right at 20 after. So I bet we're about 30, 40 people out, and we're still 200 plus in here. It's pretty cool to see. I love this. This is the first time we've ever done something like this. So this is pretty exciting.
No, it is. All right, 239-1070. I mentioned questions. No Matt Koglazer right now. He's over there. He's presiding over the raffle. Brent Holverson is here, though, and we go to Bill at 239-1070 on the show here in Greenwood this afternoon. Hello, Bill. How are you?
JMV, how you doing today?
Man, Bill, we're having such an incredible time. Thank you for the call.
I'll tell you, love is in the air, and nothing taps up love like some Heaven Hill product. I know that much. But
there you go.
Oh,
buddy.
I like it, Bill. That's awesome.
Hey, Billy, we're falling in love all over again right here and right now with Heaven Hill Distillery product.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
What's your favorite bourbon of choice, Bill?
Hey, Billy, what's your favorite bourbon from Heaven Hill? You a Larceny guy? You Elijah Craig?
I got to narrow it down to 3: Larceny, Elijah Craig, but I like the tequila too.
Luna Azul or Tequila Ocho?
Yeah, so
Luna Azul.
Those are my top 3, and they transfer me into one of the 3 Stooges every time I take a drink. So.
That's awesome. Hey, it's good to be able to have a little cheer in you to create some fun times, right?
That's absolutely right, man. But hey, I had wanted to float a question at you and everything. There's a lot of buzz going around about how perhaps that the Luka Doncic to L.A. for Anthony Davis was some kind of conspiratorial type of ploy by the league to get another star in Los Angeles because they needed to have a better team in Los Angeles, and it's better for business. There was a couple of different trades that happened in the past. The Lou Alcindor trade for Brian Winters, that was a dog, and of course, who could forget the Cincinnati Reds trading Frank Robinson to the Baltimore Orioles for Milt Pappas. But
who can forget the Reds in the late '70s just dismantling the big red machine and jacking around in the fashion which they did? Hey, Bill, I will say this: I don't think there was a conspiracy because can you imagine living the life of Nico Harrison right now? After making that deal, if it were this big conspiracy for the betterment of L.A. and that market in the NBA, so this guy gets to live a nightmare for that. Now, this is just a bad decision that was made. And again, it's only made worse, Bill, because you get Anthony Davis. He's there for half a second. Now he's already injured once again. And, they got Daniel Gafford, who's also out for about 6 weeks. Dallas is kind of limping around looking like an injured mess. And, Luka and LeBron in that era is taking off in L.A. It's just it's tough to wonder why Dallas decided to do it beyond just not wanting to pay Luka as much as he was going to get paid as a max deal guy after this particular year.
Well, when you have a max player like that, I mean, does the TV I don't know the answer to this, but does the TV contract, does it have anything to do with that where you want to have you want to get more market share in a bigger market like Los Angeles? I just can't.
I will tell you this, and I make light of this all the time. It does seem like that teams consistently over decades been the knee for L.A., right? I mean, how many different players have we seen make it there, whether you're talking about Luka now or LeBron or even Anthony Davis? It has been year after year, decade after decade of L.A. seemingly getting what it wants. And I will tell you this, that aspect of it gets old. It just – yeah, and also I guess kind of fueling this is the fact that there was only conversation with Dallas reaching out to L.A. when other teams had more to give and it would make sense with other teams. I mean, there are reasons why you have conspiracy theories floating around out there, but this has always really been in that market with that team. This has always been the case. They normally do get what they want out of certain situations. And, you know, for a lot of other folks in the NBA, a lot of other franchises, that is a bit maddening.
Yeah, it is. And if I was a Dallas Maverick fan, I'd rather have Elijah Craig than Anthony Davis any day.
I'd rather have Elijah Craig than Torrey Craig. All right, so, yeah, there's no doubt about that. Hey, Billy, am I going to see you again Thursday? We're going to be at Tom's Watch Bar downtown before the Pacers and the Grizz.
Absolutely. Be back, and we're going to be getting it ready for the second part of the NBA season, and I think the Pacers are really going to really put it together. I think this is just a kind of a mid-season slump that they've been in and everything, and I look forward to seeing them play in May.
I hope that you're right. My brother Billy, have a great weekend. We appreciate that. This weekend, by the way, also includes one Chase Briscoe, originally from Mitchell, Indiana. Now, Mitchell Blue Jacket, who's on the pole for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, coming up on Sunday. I believe that could be compromised due to wet weather down in Florida. We shall see, but obviously you had the duels last night if you were taking that. I also saw, this is Jeff Goodman, whom I do not follow. Hey, Ryan, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming out. Look at Sarah's got herself a bottle right there or something, too. I did see where Jeff Goodman had a quote from Brad Stevenson. This is accurate right here. I think this was Sarah's brother that sent this to me, actually. I saw it a little bit earlier, and I really didn't reference it because I, for one, never thought that there was any hope, any accuracy to it. But this was sent to me from Jeff Goodman, and this is his account that Celtics president Brad Stevens has told Jeff Goodman that he is not a candidate for the IU job. Quote, I thoroughly appreciate being a Celtic and love the people I get to work with every day. Stevens told whatever it is, Jeff Goodman's website or college basketball. Hell, I don't know, whatever. But you would have to be outside your mind thinking that was going to take place in the first place right there. But that was from Jeff Goodman within the last 30 minutes or so. Brent Holverson rejoins. Let us take a break. We will come back. Cast Strength location, Big Red Liquors. We are in Greenwood today on this Valentine's Day. We are celebrating with you, and people are a part of the bourbon raffle and having a hell of a time. We're back with Brent and more with you at 239-1070. That is coming up next, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
Right.
1, 2, 5. Freezer. 3.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This is Doobie Brothers, and opening up for them, the Coral Reefer Band.
Coral Reefer
which
Band.
is
Jimmy
Buffett's old
Buffett's.
band.
That's right
there.
Absolutely.
September, Ruoff Music Center. The Godfather, Michael McDonald, will be with the Doobie Brothers. Number 9 at 239-1070. Thank you, Live Nation. We love you. Both Brent and I love you. Whether it's Kyle or Jimmy, my man Daniel Butler, and I want to thank Daniel Butler. Sullivan King tomorrow night. EDM artist is going to be inside the Murat Egyptian Room. Thank you, Daniel, for that as well. But right now, Doobie Brothers tickets to number 9 at 239-1070 on this show. You will be a winner. Brent Halverson rejoins right now. Cast Strength, Big Red Liquors, US 31 and Fry Road, in what has been an incredibly successful bourbon raffle today, has it not?
It really has. And you know what I love? Big Red, they do things right. They have an event like this, get everybody together. Again, you got a nice little holiday, if you will, Hallmark weekend, right, with Valentine's Day. So there are a good 200, 250 people in here, John. They all had 90 of them walked away with a very nice allocated bottle that they had a chance to draw via the raffle, which was great. But the specials that they have here are outstanding. And you see a lot of people still here shopping.
Yeah.
And preparing for a great long weekend, holiday weekend at that, with President's Day right on the
This makes me so happy seeing everybody come out. And if you're listening right now and you were here, and obviously we have to stay busy with the show, so it's kind of tough. You guys have been over on the other side, and we're over here near the refrigerators. We want to thank you for coming out, because I know it's Valentine's Day, and there was a lot to juggle here. But we really wanted to make this just a top shelf event, and a really job well done. From Matt and our friends at Big Red Liquors, to you, Brent, as well, and to Kelly and Kevin and Chris and Dev for setting this up. But it has been one hell of a day, and really exactly what we were looking for when we learned we were going to be doing this on Valentine's Day.
It really was. I mean, and again, it's such a unique thing. You just don't see a lot of this going on. I mean, there's those special times throughout the year. You're going to have some bourbon expo event type stuff, right? And I mentioned what Big Red does at the fairgrounds once a year. Kind of the same thing, but this was condensed. I mean, usually there's a couple thousand people that make it to the fairgrounds for Big Red Expo down there, the bourbon raffles, and they did it here today, and pretty neat to see the turnout of people, the staff that's here, and just everything about it, and the kingpin that comes through right now.
The architect is here.
The architect, Mr. Matt Colglazer. What do you think, Matt? A very nice job. You got to look at doing like an auctioneer site guy.
I got through it pretty quick.
You really did. I was impressed. 25 minutes, 30 minutes worth there.
It's funny. So Don Fisher was answering a question of mine when that boo came out, and he thought he was getting booed.
Well, that could happen this year.
That was so. Did I hear that?
Happened.
Did I hear that right?
Already.
He got double drawn or something, right? And it was kind of right after that. And he's like,
I don't know what they think that they're going to get another bottle. They're not. So just throw that away.
It was just fun though. It adds a little excitement to it. Everybody's waiting to hear their name called.
Everybody thought it was good.
Yeah.
So this looks like it went incredibly well today.
It was great.
So good.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having us. And I think it was just such a unique, fun event, especially again kick off a little Valentine's Day weekend. And we got 90 people that left here really happy with those allocated bottles, and you got a lot of people that are leaving here with some great specials that you guys offer today.
Yeah, exactly. So try to make as many people happy as possible.
Look at that. You're just making them smile all across the world, my friend. I love that.
Now I got to go home and make my family.
Well, hey,
all right.
That's right.
Now you got to dial down from the bourbon. You got to think about family life right there, too. Hey, remind folks, too, 100-plus locations throughout the state of Indiana. This one is one of the jewels. There's no doubt about that. Cast Strength here in Greenwood. But other locations, maybe some of the newer ones. And you guys also have a merging event that has just taken place.
Yeah, so we just acquired Crown Liquors, which has been in business since 1989. Fantastic stores, all kind of central and in the donut. High volume stores, great folks, really nice people, and yeah, it's been great. Crown. So any deal you see in a Big Red, you'll see it in Crown, and yeah, we've really enjoyed that. So we've got those. We've got the Cap and Corks up north, Gay's Hops and Schnapps in Angola. and Auburn and LaGrange.
What's that place called again? What?
Gaze, Hops, and Schnapps.
Great locations, too. They're
really
awesome locations. They really are.
And they've been around for a long time. And there's a huge lake culture up north.
There is.
And so basically there's like 100,000 extra people that live in and around Angola during the summer.
Summertime, yep.
Yeah, I was kind of mildly aware of it because my wife's from Fort Wayne. But when we bought those stores, I learned, like, that's serious lake life up there.
It is.
And people come and, like during the pandemic, a lot of people just moved back to their lake houses and they lived there. So did great business then, do great business now. That Gaze store in Angola, 507, is that's one of the jewels. That's one of the best liquor stores in the state of Indiana. One of the highest volume liquor stores, one of the nicest liquor stores.
Yes.
We love that store. So if you're ever up that way, check out Gaze Hops and Schnapps in Angola.
That tasting room up there is awesome, too. A lot of private events in the back, and they do a lot of fun stuff up there. So I've loved working that store. Happy that you guys have acquired that and have taken it to the next level. It's pretty exciting.
I mean, what makes it interesting is, like, you think about a chain of stores that are kind of all cookie cutter, same shape, and everything's in the same spot. Like, that's just not how our business is. Every store is a little bit different. So you go to a Big Red, Cap and Cork, Crown Liquors. They all have their own personality. The managers are all unique. They know their customers. And that's the fun part about, local packaged liquor stores, that you're not going to get that in a grocery store or big box or anywhere else. Like, they will know who you are if you're a regular there. And most of our customers in these stores, they come from like a 3-mile radius. So people know each other. There's a community aspect to what we do that I don't think a lot of people maybe see, because, we have regulars, and that's the best part of our business.
It is absolutely right. You're spot on.
That is Matt Koglazier here of Big Red Liquors. We're at Cast Strength, which I mentioned as the jewel here in Greenwood at US 31 and Fry Road. Give me a great example of what somebody might be looking for that they would find in here that maybe you wouldn't in other places.
I mean, this store carries like some higher end mezcals, like, if some more esoteric tequilas, some unique cordials. So, like, a lot of times, if somebody's looking to make a special cocktail and they need creme de violette or something like that, it's one little ingredient in a cocktail, but you got to go to a store that has it, and this is that type of store. So if you're looking for something unique, this is the place to be.
So what? It's you guys are up to, is it 109? Is that total locations?
103.
103. Okay. And I was actually in the newest location about a week and a half ago up in Carmel.
Yeah.
Great looking store.
Is that 106 in College?
106 in College.
That's absolutely right.
That's
great new store.
I think it went into, I forget the name of the restaurant there, but I think it was like the last restaurant you could smoke in Carmel. And so it had that reputation.
Somebody told me the name, and I forget what it was now, but they said the same thing.
It had that reputation, but we cleared all the smoke out, and it's not a large, again, saying it's very different than this store. It's not a large footprint, so it's a little bit, the selection is not as wide, but we've got all the best stuff, and that store is doing great right off the bat.
That's awesome.
It's very easy to get in and out of. It's next to a gas station. Usually we do well when we're next to convenience stores or grocery stores or like high traffic areas, and it's like, hey, I got to stop and get 6-pack and whatever. You just pop right in. The nice part about our liquor stores is, like, you go to these Kroger's now, not to throw shade, but like you got to walk like a half mile through the store to get what you want and check out, and nobody's really helping you, whatever. Our stores, you're in and out in like 2 minutes. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you know exactly what you want. You're coming for a 12-pack of Corona. Grab that, and you're on your way. So, but if you want to linger, shop, and talk, you can do that too. So.
And I will say, probably one of the best bottle and bond sections I've seen in a while too. There at that store.
You know what? You have been harassing me for so many years. I thought, I'll throw him a bone. I'll put a bottle and bond section in.
It looks awesome, though,
It
dude.
looks good.
It looks wonderful. It looks great. And I will say, I still think the best bottle and bond selection is Cap and Cork up in the main one up there. I mean, that's a beautiful. It's unique. It's fun. Like you said, every store's got its own uniqueness to it. That's what's so great about it. And again, I think your guys' staff, though, when you have those questions, they're there to answer them. So if you don't feel overwhelmed walking into a big store, right? You're going to have some help there to get you through what you need.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing to me that those I mean, the prices are still ridiculously cheap for what you get. Any of those.
I couldn't believe the bourbon prices you just handed out a little bit earlier.
Those were crazy, and I'll probably get in trouble for that on Monday, but that's okay. I think a lot of people left here really happy, and that's what it's about.
That is absolutely right. It's great.
Because I don't know, when's the last time I saw prices like that for bourbon?
Well, we were talking earlier, it's like vintage throwback pricing, right? So I mean, it's pretty neat to be able to have it. And again, it's probably a big thank you to the customers, too, for the loyalty coming in. And good to be able to send them home on a good Valentine's Day weekend with some good juice.
Yep,
exactly. All right, you guys, this location open or other locations as far as hours? What do we got, Matt?
This is open till 10, so we'll be here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you won't. You're going to be with the family, right?
I got to probably run.
We going someplace special tonight?
No. My 14-year-old daughter is having a Valentines party, so there's like a bunch of 14-year-old girls, and they'll be making noise, and
All right, then. Hey, man, thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
An absolute blast.
Fantastic.
We'd love to do it again. Just let us know. And there's one thing we talk about all the time, sports and music and bourbon, for example,
it's a
or
1, 2, 3
beer,
punch.
or whatever. It always works for everybody, man. Our audience, they dig that. But thank you very much for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Matt Colglazier right there at Big Red Liquors. Brent rejoins me coming up on the other side. A little stretch run to the top of the hour. Hey, James, do we have anything goes tonight? Do I have to mess around with that, or
we do have some anything goes tonight?
Well, who do I need to be pissed off about that to? Wait a minute. Come on, 20 minutes after 6? You just you ruined Devin's weekend just now with that. Well, so 20 minutes after 6 we got to do. All right, we'll do that. Quick break. We'll come back. I did want to remind everybody, too, and I think that all the shows are off, but we're off for President's Day, which is weird because I don't think I've ever been off for President's Day in my life. But we are all off on President's Day on Monday, so we will not reconvene on this show, which is weird, until Tuesday. Now, we'll tell you this. Tomorrow night, JMV Takeover, B105.7. We'll be kicking ass and taking names, per usual. Awesome Sarah, I'm sure, will be listening for 6 hours. That's simply put all request radio that you will not get, you will not hear, you will not be a part of anyplace else. When I say it's one of one and you think, well, are you being hyperbolic? Not at all, because nobody does it. It's funny. So I go with our friend Sean Copeland, who's the program director of B. We go out with Karen Vaughn of WTLC on Monday up at Ambrosia in Broad Ripple with Thomas Hilbert of Premier Weight Loss. And I had mentioned before on the air, and I've told you guys this, when I do the JMV Takeover, there's like one person in the world that is allowed to do what I do with a music station. And that is come in and do whatever the blank I want to do. And let you guys do whatever the blank you want to do. That's like, this is it. Like, this was the place for these bourbon deals today. Like, Saturday night is your place. Not only is it just an incredible party, you get to hear yourself on the radio talking up your favorite songs. You don't have to go anywhere to do it. It's right there in front of you. But Sean Copeland literally is the only person that would allow, consider this, a clown like me. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your successful radio station, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to blank can every piece of music that you have and do whatever I want for 6 hours. Simply put, it never happens. It never happens any place but one here in Indy every Saturday night. That's the JMV Takeover. Tomorrow night on B105.7. All right, we shall break. We will come back. Me and Brent the rest of the way. We've got some Anything Goes coming up at the top of the hour at 239-1070 for you. I Want My 80s at the Fishers Event Center coming up in June. That will be Paul Young. That will be John Waite, Wang Chung, and the headliner, Rick Springfield. We've got those tickets coming up before the top of the hour. And remember the professional volleyball all-star match coming up tomorrow afternoon at the Fishers Event Center. That should be an absolute blast. Again, coming up tomorrow, if you have an opportunity to attend, my advice would be to do so. Me and Brent, your calls and some Anything Goes coming up at the top of the hour We're in Greenwood today. Cast Strength, Big Red Liquors. We're at Fry Road and US 31 and what has been a spectacular Valentine's Day. Thank you all for joining us. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I am the cream, yeah. The cream of the crop. And there is no one that does it better.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This is Rick Springfield. He headlines what is called the I Want My 80s tour that in June invades the Fishers Events Center. Rick Springfield, Wang Chung, John Wade, and Paul Young. Number 9 at 239-1070, you will be able to go. I'm telling you, just Rick Springfield alone gives you like 11 songs that you know by heart right there easily. This is going to be great. Rarely, if ever, and I mentioned this regarding Soft Cell and Simple Minds this summer too. Rarely do they make it over here. Rarely do you see Wang Chung a part of anything over here. So you'll get Everybody Has Fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Dance All Days, and my personal favorite, Let's Go from Wang Chung. And, Paul Young, I mentioned, I Want to Tear Your Playhouse Down is one, and Every Time I Go Away was Paul Young's big hit. That was, I think, originally written by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And who was the other? John Waite of the Babies, and John Waite of Bad English, and John Waite alone did Missing You from the 1980s. They're all going to do full sets at the Fishers Event Center. Number 9 at 239-1070 is going to go on us. Hey, by the way, I've got more of these tickets coming up for you tomorrow night on the JMV Takeover. Brent Holverson rejoins of Heaven Hill Distillery. We're at Big Red Liquor's cast strength location down in Greenwood. And again, what has been a very eventful afternoon here.
It's been outstanding. I mean, that's just cool. I just love that, there's 90 people that left here with a bottle they've probably been searching for a long time. And they had the chance to get it. And several hundred people in here that were here for it, also enjoying all the great deals and specials that Big Red has out. It's been a great day, John. This is fun to do, and not a better place to do it, right? It's a great size store with all those people in here. We're still able to be over here nice and relaxed and calm and cool,
being
collected.
Relaxed. Yes.
And be able to enjoy some bourbon ourselves. It's been a great day.
What were you talking about this over here, this product?
So those are, that's a new canned cannabis drinks that are out now.
Canned cannabis.
Yeah, it's like the Delta 8, Delta 9 version of stuff. So they're starting to pop up all over the place now, and I've not tried any of them, but they're, as you can see, there's quite a few of them there to choose from. So
yeah,
anxious to
see. How many calories are in the canned cannabis?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't think you'll need to worry about it after a couple.
I guess you will. I mean, then it may force me to dial into something to eat. 0 calories in the canned cannabis?
Calories.
What?
All right.
Holy hell. That is 0 right there. Can I see that? Canned cannabis.
That's
it is Sun King. THC, coconut lime seltzer.
Huh. Interesting.
So
Look at that.
If I go home and take this and drink all 4 of these, what am I going to be like a little bit later?
I think you might have a smile on your face. And
Sarah, will this get me all happy?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
I don't know. Hey, James, you ever had THC drinks?
I have indeed.
Oh.
Well, tell us a little bit more, Mr. Expert.
I mean, it's not like it's going to get you zooted or anything. As far as I know, it's a very small amount of THC in there. I think it'll get you a little bit of a buzz. I know it's not the exact same strand as the stuff that's federally illegal right now. It's a very different thing, but it's all right. They're fine.
Federally illegal
in Indiana. I mean, in Indiana, federally, yes, it
Lord
is,
have
but
mercy.
State-wise, too.
Can you imagine? We'll all be dead by the time they realize what
Indiana will be the
50th
state. I don't think they realize the amount of tax dollars they can make. But anyway,
there is so much that is not realized. It's amazing.
I'm just happy.
All these old crusty farts that don't know anything.
Absolutely. I'm just happy Prohibition's over and we can enjoy some great spirits. So
we love it. Look at us right here with the Larceny Bourbon in front of us. Let's do some Anything Goes. Brent's going to hang around here for the next 20 or so after 6. 239-1070. Call James, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about on Anything Goes. We go 20 strong. The last word is coming up after that. We're live at Big Red Liquors in Greenwood and what has been an outstanding afternoon, and we continue. Anything Goes at 239-1070. Me, Brent Holverson, and you. That's coming up after 6. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Reptile than man, George. So low and flat that the foot of man is incapable of crushing you. How dare you?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, let's do some anything goes at 239-1070. We get a blowout like 20-plus minutes right here, so if they're going to give me 20 minutes added to the show, I'm just going to blank around on those 20 minutes right here. So take that, everybody, at 239-1070. Dev's the on-site engineer. Shout out to Chris and Kevin doing an outstanding job over there. Sarah, who from Arby's, brought me 2 hamburger patties wrapped up. That was so awesome of you right there.
Very kind.
Because I am all protein all the time right there. And Matt Colglazier and our friends here at Big Red Liquors, we had an awesome bourbon experience on this Valentine's Day. Brent Halverson rejoins right now. We'll get to the calls. You guys line them up in just a second. We'll get to you. But, man, this has been great.
Has been great, John. And, you know, the cool thing and what I love about bourbon, I mean, outside from the many different styles out there, the many different taste profiles out there, is people that get together over bourbon, right? So that's what we saw today. We saw, you know, a couple 250 people in here. You had 90 really super happy people that walked out with a very heavily allocated bottle. Sarah got a bottle of Blanton's there, so that's outstanding.
Let it go, Sarah. Crack that bad boy open and we'll chug it.
But then there's just the deals that they have here and what they're offering today and every day, really. I mean, they got some great deals here. So just neat to be a part of it and to see in a store this size, again, there's a little bit of everything here, right? And to have that many people in here to be able to be around and enjoy it, just a great time. And hats off to Matt and the whole Big Red team for having us in today. That was great.
Put together a great experience. By the way, shout out to my good friend Brad Howell. Brad Howell is the owner and the operator and does such a great job. If you remember, Brad Howell used to be a part of physical therapy with a different company. Now he has his own called Milestone, which is right over on 135, not too far from where we are right now. And Brad Howell operates that, and he checks in and says they go to gays all the time in Angola when they're up there at the lake. So I've never heard of the place, but apparently up north of Fort Wayne, that's a big deal.
It really is, and they've got some great locations. The store that Matt was talking about, I happen to frequent quite a bit. Just, you know, I've got the whole state, so I travel quite a bit and visit a lot of the big stores and used to be do a lot of business up there. And now we've just even grown even further with Big Red's acquisition of that account. And they're just great people. It's a great spot, a great area, and a great store, too. We were talking earlier. That's what I love going into different size stores, right? You got the small stores, the big stores, the stores that have private rooms where they're tasting rooms or they're private little sampling bars and areas. And, you know, that's what's really unique about what's up at Gays Hops and Stops in Angola. Just a super great location and a lot of great people up there and part of the Big Red family now.
Milestone for your rehab, and Brad Howell will take care of you over there. Again, that is off of, I believe that is 135 and Fairview right over there. You can see Milestone, and Brad Howell's a longtime good friend of mine. We appreciate him checking in. All right, Brent and I are going to do some Anything Goes right here. Keep in mind, 93 WIBC, 7 o'clock, pregame coverage. That's UCLA and IU. Don Fisher joined us a little bit earlier. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio a little bit earlier. Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk a little bit earlier. Podcast all the way around, 1075thefan.com. No show on Monday for anybody. We're back on Tuesday. You get the Boilers and Sparty on Tuesday night up in East Lansing as well. Purdue and Wisconsin tomorrow at 1. That is at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette. We had a conversation with Rob Blackman, the voice of the Boilermakers, about that yesterday. That podcast, 1075thefan.com. Pacers off this weekend. They start a 4-game homestand next Thursday. We'll be at Tom's Watch Bar with Bud Light to usher that in with our Mini Hoops Mania round number 2 with all of you guys there leading up to the Grizzlies and the Pacers game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Pascal Siakam, of course, will be the lone Pacer member, a part of the NBA All-Star weekend in San Francisco coming up. 239-1070 is that number. Brent Halverson and I are going to go some Anything Goes. And Darnell and Broad Ripple starts us off today. Hello, Darnell.
Hey, John. Hey, Brent. How you guys doing?
Great D.
Hey, what's up, Darnell?
Good
How
to
are
hear
you, man?
from you, buddy. Go ahead.
Good. Big fan of you guys. Hey, JMV, John, I've tweeted to you. I'm Brent and Albert, I dropped you guys' name out for the tavern tours. Big fan of those. Just want to see if you can write this down. There's 2 I've already dropped you guys' name. They're waiting on you guys to get in contact with them. 2 iconic pubs on the north side here, the Red Key Tavern, and Leslie's the owner. And then the Pawn Shop Pub off of 54th and Keystone. They were voted the best bar or pub about a couple years ago off of East 54th Street. The Pawn Shop Pub, and the owners are Rob, Barb, and Brian, and they're great people. They got a patio out there. I know at the Pawn Shop Pub. 2 historic, iconic pubs here on the north side. We'd love to see you guys tap into the tavern tour on that, Brent.
Hey, Darnell, that sounds awesome. Great. We've actually had a discussion about these accounts, and they're great accounts, and it's a great call. Definitely need to reach out and see about possibly doing one there because, again, you're right. When we look for these tavern tours, they're great joints and spots, right, that people want to go to. They've been around for a long time. Tried and true, like we like to say.
I tweeted that to John. So, again, the owners, they're great people. Both they work together. The Red Key and the Pawn Shop Pub, they're just great locations. And like I said, the Pawn Shop Pub is a great spot. They have a patio and everything out there for you guys.
Hey, that's awesome, man. Appreciate the recommendation, and hopefully we'll be announcing one there. Hopefully this year, if not this next, but we'll definitely put that on the radar.
Thank you, D. Man, I'll talk to you tomorrow night too, brother.
See you guys.
Darnell and Broad Ripple right there. The Red Key.
He's such a great dude. He is such a great guy, and what he does for the blind. I mean, it's awesome, man. It's absolutely awesome.
Those 2 places you've been considering right now?
Absolutely. I mean, they're just they're those classic places. Been there a long time, right? And that's what we like to look for in that tavern tour, and we've got some great ones lined up, and I think that's a couple options that we'll definitely pursue and look into.
AAA.com inside the lounge right there. Thank you all for watching and being a part of this show as well today. AAA.com. Become a member. Remember the 22nd. That's a week from tomorrow. The AAA Travel Expos at the Ritz-Charles up in Carmel. Meantime, Mike is in Brooklyn, New York up next on Anything Goes. Hello, Mike.
JMV, happy Valentine's Day, brother. I got
right back at you. What are we doing in Brooklyn, New York on your Valentine's Day, Mike? What happens in Brooklyn on Valentine's Day?
Well, I got Indiana connections, so listen, I got a question for you, but I sent out to my girl I'm seeing a song which is by Indiana native and icon. It's a cover of UFO's 70s song "Love to Love You" by the one and only Axl Rose, and she absolutely loved it. And my question is does the state of Indiana embrace Axl as one of its, icons?
I mean, let's just say not as much, for example, as Mellencamp might be, but yeah, I think so. And really, he used to be more estranged than anything because he came back here and was nuts on stage during the Monsters of Rock in the early 90s and called everybody around here a bunch of corn blankers, I think,
really?
at the time.
Oh, wow.
But things have changed. Yeah. No. Things have changed. He is chilled. So he is always, let's just say if you're playing music from those from the state of Indiana, he's always going to be near the top of the list in modern day music because of that.
The Pride of Lafayette.
Yeah,
right?
the Pride of Lafayette.
They
And,
still take some.
Bill Bailey, I believe, is his real name.
Yeah,
Bill Bailey, Axl Rose.
About an hour.
Yeah, about an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
Right up 65. I believe, is it, who is it? Is it Izzy Stradlin or Duff McKagan that's also from Lafayette? They're both two guys, two guys from GNR's from Lafayette, yeah.
Yeah, Izzy the first
So Izzy is from
LA.
Lafayette, too.
Yeah. So
nice.
Anyway, shout out to
Mike, anything
Axl.
else?
Yeah, if you want some loving tonight on Valentine's Day, just play the Axl's cover of "Love to Love You" by UFO. 70s song, awesome.
Right? Well, I think Mike in Brooklyn, thank you for the advice.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend and a great Valentine's Day. I think we're all looking for some sort of love.
That's right.
Create that love on Valentine's Day, Brent.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got a note in here for
Is it from Ryan Nally?
Anything goes. It's not. Mr. Nally's out there. He's probably
I love Nalls, man.
Preparing for the big day here. But no, great friend, great listener, Dave Merica. Just he has a question for you, John.
Sure.
Who would win in a game of horse, you or Greg Blunk?
Oh, come on, man. I love Greg Blanc, but Greg get his ass whipped. He knows that. I think Greg knows that.
All right, Dave, there you go.
Greg would get his ass whipped.
Might have to see that come to fruition.
Now, I will say this, man. Like Greg, as a high school athlete up against me, would whip my ass. He would, because he was a very good baseball player. He was a part of the Indiana Bulls. So he was a very good high school athlete. So he'd have whipped me then, but my advantage is, I mean, I'm 55 against other people either my age or just below it, and they're going to get worked.
They're going to get worked.
I play all the time now too, and that's just it's different when you play all the time to those that never play, and then all of a sudden you go out there. It's different. So that's my advantage, and I just didn't take advantage of it when it actually mattered. It doesn't matter anymore, but it did back then, and he was a really good high school athlete.
What if we ran a 3-1 on you? It's Greg Blanc, Dave Merica, and myself against you.
I mean, that'd be problematic.
We'd be even.
It'd be problematic.
I don't move a whole lot anymore, John. I just stay down low now.
See, and that's one thing with Premier Weight Loss, what I've done in dropping the pounds, 72, is I can run up and down the floor as well as I could back in my 20s right now. Now, laterally, it's going to be a struggle, but not as bad a struggle as it once was. But I can get up and down the floor as well as I could right now. Again, playing all the time is an advantage. Even if you play, a couple of times a week, it's an advantage.
Oh, absolutely.
It's also an advantage of not getting injured, because I've played so much with the older generational folks that go out with me and play. I see the ones that get injured are the ones that haven't played. And then you get out there for the first time and your body just does some really impactful stuff on the basketball floor.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's a different set of circumstances for your body and movement. And sometimes that doesn't work out so well.
Well, hey, hats off to you for
I love it.
for the 72 drop, bro. That's outstanding. But being out on the court and continuing that on,
I love it.
I love it, man. That's great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mike in Brooklyn, thank you for the call. And Gino is next on Anything Goes. Hello, Gino.
What's going on, sir? How are you, brother?
Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Just a local shout out. I'm from and live in Anderson, Indiana, and it's been a long time since the Indians have been ranked in basketball. So just a quick shout out to them, man. That's it.
Sure. They are having a resurgent season up there, especially considering what that used to be in high school basketball, whether it was Anderson or Madison Heights or Highland, and really the entirety of the North Central Conference back then and what that represented. I mean, this is bringing back some of those memories of great Anderson basketball of the past that we haven't seen in a while.
Agreed. One of my he graduated a year before me. Troy Taylor. He went to Evansville, and they're starting this like Anderson Legends League, and he's getting it up, and they're trying to get it to play through the wigwam again, but you got to go through some hoops to get to that point. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
I'd imagine. Hey, Gino, man, thanks for checking in. Stop by again soon. Come out and see us live sometime soon, Gino. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Gino on Anything Goes. Brent Holverson, JMV, Big Red Liquors down in Greenwood. And Big Earn is up next at 239-1070. Hello, Big Earn. Big Earn is gone. I think John is up next on Anything Goes. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to talk to you, JMV. Love the show. Been listening since you were in the little chair.
Thank you, buddy. Me and Mark Patrick back in the day, indeed.
Yes, sir. John from Broad Ripple. I don't want to be Debbie Downer. I'm calling about the Big Red Liquor stores. I live in Broad Ripple. I visit the Big Red Liquor stores, Sobro on 52nd. Love all the liquor stores in the neighborhood. They have I've gone in there for years, and it smells like a sewage pit. I just feel so bad for the employees. When it gets cool, it gets cool outside or cold outside. It goes away, and I go to the UPS in the strip mall, the Chinese restaurant. I get my hair cut at Great Clips, and they always blame it on the store next door. It was vacant. Now it's not vacant. I just feel bad for the employees. I just honestly do, and I've wanted to call in before and tell you, and you have the higher ups there, but they really need to go visit that store. It's on 62nd Street in Broad Ripple. And I
think I know exactly what he did.
I still give them my business, and I still go in there.
Good job, John. Thank you very much. That's all right.
you,
John with us on Anything Goes right there. So, wait a minute. What did he say?
Apparently, there might be just some kind of a outdoor sewage thing going on. But, hey, that happens in a lot of places, right?
It
We have
is.
several restaurants. And,
Yeah.
well, your old neck of the woods, Terre Haute, used to have a scent, right?
Wait a minute.
Like back in the day.
Anytime somebody brings up something that stinks, everybody goes to Terre Haute. No,
Goes to
it did,
Terre
though.
Haute.
It was the
paper factory.
The paper factory there that used to.
That's gone now, right?
It is, and there's no longer a scent. Terre Haute is like a rose.
It's like a rose.
It smells like
Every
a rose.
rose has its
now.
thorn, huh?
Let me tell you this, too. I had such an incredible time. Now, I could have an incredible time at an insurance convention, but I had such an incredible time over that. I tell people all the time, if you didn't have fun while you were over there, you were probably a nerd.
And you weren't doing it right.
And you were a dork. Yeah. And nobody wanted to hang out with your ass.
Yeah.
So that was it. So I wanted, just like I do right now, I want everybody around, and I want to have the most fun possible, because one of these days it will all be over and there's no more fun to be had. And I'm going to squeeze every ounce out of that fun berry, by God.
That is the way to do it, my man.
That is the way to...
Do you know how you make fun berries multiply?
How's that?
You get some Larceny bourbon and have a couple of those, and all of a sudden you're having a lot of fun. Everybody is around you, too. So.
Larceny bourbon and some zigzags.
Fun berries, that's what we say.
Nally, of all people to respond to the zigzag comment, Ryan Nally is about as appropriate as he gets.
That was
right
classic.
there.
That's good stuff. Oh, I love it.
Scott's up next on Anything Goes. Scott, hello.
Hey, I had a question for your Saturday night takeovers. And whenever you mention it, you never talk about Babyface. Do you ever play Babyface, or are you just not into him?
I
or
have.
Is it just,
I have.
I assume
Well,
you
and
played
it's.
him. I just never hear you talk much about him.
Well, it is funny. He doesn't get requested that much. Yes, yeah. Scott, sit tight with me for a second. He doesn't get requested that much. I have tried and tried and tried to get him on this show, and I've not been able to do it. Now, I will tell you, because next Saturday night, there's a concert called Love Fest that's headlined by Jeffrey Osborne, and his older brother, Kayvon Edmonds, is in the band After 7, and he's going to be playing. I was supposed to have Kayvon Edmonds on the show next week, but they haven't gotten back with me yet. So I've tried. I have played After 7. We have played It's No Crime by Babyface before on the JMV Takeover. That's been requested. But I've tried to get him on the show, and I can't, for whatever reason, I can't get it done.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I've tried. I mean, he's there's no doubt he's legendary. So
I just didn't know if you just never brought him up that much on the radio. So, or even like
Scott,
Johnny Gill.
Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've tried. Kayvon Edmonds, I thought I was going to get him on next week but hell, nobody's gotten back with me. So we'll try. I love After 7. All right, you're off to where, Brent?
I'm actually home tonight with Sage. We'll leave at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Get her to volleyball at the academy, a big tournament. And then when she's done, the grandparents are taking her, and I'm going to the airport, flying to Kansas City. Be out there tomorrow night at like 10 o'clock.
Nice.
And the big 51st is Sunday, and then President's Day Monday. We'll be driving back with Sierra after a big holiday extravaganza volleyball tournament.
Thank you for everything.
I appreciate it.
Brent Halverson, Heaven Hill Distillery. Thanks, everybody. Sarah, great seeing you. Dev, Kevin, Chris, James back at the studio. Matt Colglazier, our friends at Big Red Liquors. You guys are outstanding. No show Monday. Back with you Tuesday. JMV Takeover tomorrow night. The last word next.